Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I am ready.
I am ready. I am ready.
Ready or not, it's here. That's right, the biggest gospel show with me, Uncle T Baby Boy, on 8:10 a.m. That's right, interviews, greatest songs, praise and worship. It's going to be exciting. We're going to take the Bahamas to the world and bring the world to the Bahamas.
There's a verse of scripture that says, your ears are about to tingle. Well, our ears have certainly tingled,
Yes.
having heard the many things, the prophetic words,
Yes.
what's on the horizon for Grand Bahama, Pastor Hagan, and indeed this country. What are your final words relative to what God has shown you, what you've seen, and what we can expect as Grand Bahama now prepares to bounce back?
Right. Well, first of all, there's going to be tremendous projects here on the Isle of Grand Bahama. There are going to be tremendous job opportunities. And so what I say to all of our viewers today, make sure that you're in a position, because when the fish are biting, you want to make sure you catch them when they bite, right?
Yes.
And so those are my words and encouragement. Just continue to prepare ourselves for the jobs that are coming, and let's give God all the praise and glory that he needs, because he's the one that's doing these things.
Amen. That's exciting. I just want to thank you for taking the time to be with us to share the vision and laying the foundation.
Thank you.
Obviously, the foundation that we've built on over the years has not been a solid one.
Amen.
And so we now turn and focus on building on a more firm foundation, which is Jesus Christ. So thank you so much.
Thank you kindly.
And I leave you with this challenge.
Yes.
Having heard the prophetic word and having heard what's on the horizon for Grandmama, I'm hoping that you're inspired to do your part to make sure that the island Grandmama bounce back. But I also want to challenge you, how do you get something you've never had? You're going to have to do something that you've never done. And that's my challenge to you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Joan Davis-Roll. God bless.
A Lyford Key. I'm Tanya Smith Cartwright. This is ZNS.
Welcome to What's Trending, the show keeping you in the know with all that's happening in lifestyle and entertainment. I'm your host, Stacey Campbell Marshall. We're heading into what's considered the peak of the hurricane season. And on this day, the Great Andros Hurricane of 1929 battered the capital and Andros, sitting stationary over these islands for nearly 3 days. The economic impact would be felt for years later. And this high-end Category 4 hurricane occurred during the peak of the sponging era, leading to 70% of sponging vessels being destroyed and more than 100 lives lost. This evening, we want to keep our friends, brothers, and sisters in Florida in our prayers as the Category 3 storm Helen closes in. What old seems to be new again? It looks like Gen Z is on a nostalgic kick, reviving a pocket-sized game beloved by millennials. Remember the Tamagotchi Gigapet? Well, according to a recent article in the New York Post, sales for the digital device doubled over the last year. So much so that the brand behind the popular toy opened its first brick-and-mortar company in the UK this year. And if you don't know much about the Gigapet, the pint-sized toy and accessory was a hit in the 90s, allowing users to care for a virtual pet. But now you can connect with friends, play on Wi-Fi, and download different add-ons. Sounds like fun. Oh, nah, what's her name? She's Rihanna, and her brand new wax figure just revealed in Madame Tussauds. The billionaire entertainer, mother, and Caribbean gal is the latest celebrity to be cloned for the Wax Museum's London location. And listen, her and this wax museum figure are definitely twinning. The recreation of the baby blue dress and braids that the mogul wore at the 2019 British Fashion Awards, it's spot on. In today's show, we take a look at World Maritime Day and what that means for us. Custom stationery for just about any occasion, and Cultured Clothing is in the building to strut their new collection. This and so much more after the break, so stay with us.
Good to grow, keeping you in the know, keeping you in the know. God, that's good enough to eat, and it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, that is good to grow.
A new initiative is set to boost the local fishing and farming industries in Exuma as a cooperative prepares to open its much-anticipated fish and farm store in Georgetown. Slated for launch later this year, the store will provide a vital hub for residents and local businesses, offering a wide range of fishing and farming essentials to support the island's agricultural and marine activities.
So we're doing craft work, beekeeping, the fishing poisons, and the farmers. You know, we put everybody together in one group. And we at our site here is where this is the site where we're gonna have the farmers gonna set up out here, but we're using the building right here next door. The building is gonna be for our store.
The cooperative, which includes local fishers, farmers, and community leaders, aims to fill a growing need for easily accessible supplies on the island. By creating this central location, the cooperative hopes to make it easier for Exuma's farming and the fishing communities to access high-quality tools, equipment, and products necessary for their trade.
We'll be growing onions, I should say plain vegetables, broccoli, lettuce, cabbage. We also be cucumbers, onion, tomatoes. They are products that are needed here for the restaurant and household to function.
Ultimately, though, the aim is to encourage the youth to consider agriculture as a career.
We lost almost a generation. So what you see here today is the older generation, but we're trying to indoctrinate the next one behind us. That's one generation we totally missed. So part of what we're doing at a co-op is trying to show young men and women that agriculture wasn't their pickaxe farming and grapple like their grandfathers and grandmother. And we could do it. We have the soil, we have the water, and we have the will. And I'm convinced that we're going to do it.
Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
From paradise to paradise, Bahamasair invites you to embark on a seamless island journey from the sun-kissed coast of Nassau, the Bahamas, to the rhythmic shores of Montego Bay, Jamaica. Soar high above a turquoise tapestry on the most trusted airline in the Caribbean. Our inaugural flight takes wing on November 17th, 2024. Don't delay. Book your idyllic escape today.
Hardware is the helpful place. Everything you need under one roof, from electrical, paint, plumbing, outdoor, barbecue, automotive, lawn and garden, pet supplies, houseware, and seasons. Hurricane season is now here, so for all your hurricane needs, we have a 25% off bargain zone.
Hey, thanks. I would have given more stuff, but I didn't bring my money. I thought this was a club, and I thought everything was free. Finally know what it is now. Ace.
We're located on St. Albans Drive, West Bay Street, open Monday to Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and closed for lunch 2 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Today is World Maritime Day, and I'm sure we all can benefit from learning more about the maritime industry. This day is typically observed every year on the last Thursday in September to highlight the importance of maritime safety, security, and protection of the marine environment. It will highlight the importance of safety at sea in an era of significant transformation and risks. While the Bahamas follows behind Liberia and Panama, it is one of the largest registries for cruise passenger ships in the world. The Bahamian fleet comprises some 1,650 ocean-going vessels, totaling over 53 million gross tons. The Bahamas Maritime Association handles all things maritime for the country. This year's theme is Navigating the Future, Safety First. Now, one thing I like to see is more women getting involved in the maritime industry. Joining us now in studio to delve deeper into women's roles in the industry is the Assistant Port Controller, Lana Bethel. Hi, Lana.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us.
Of course.
So glad you're here. So tell me, how did you get involved in the maritime industry?
Wow, it's a great question. To be honest with you, I always wanted to study law. That was my main focus at first. I was born and raised in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and we all know Freeport is such a maritime-centric island, right? You always hear about maritime and these notable port facilities in Freeport. And so having this knowledge about the maritime industry from very early on, you know, I decided, why not specialize with my law degree? And that's how I, you know, studied maritime.
Now listen, you have this law degree, but you're also working on your PhD. So
Yeah.
tell me about that.
So yes, I'm working on my PhD as well, which is quite the task, you know, quite an ambitious task of mine, but I just believe it is so important to not ever get comfortable in whatever career it is that you choose, but to always try and improve yourself. And the maritime sector is constantly changing, it's evolving, you know, there's a focus on sustainability now, and so with the PhD, I'm able to do research on how we can be more environmentally friendly, how we can protect our marine environment more, and so that's my opportunity to just delve more deeply into the sector.
Wonderful. And, you know, talking about women, how are women breaking through? How do you see them breaking through in this industry?
Yeah, I think for us as women, I think it's more advocacy that's helping us to break through. We have, for example, the International Maritime Organization that has deemed May 18th International Day for Women in Maritime. So the Bahamas Maritime Authority, for example, hosted a wonderful panel this year at the Harry C. Moore Library, University of the Bahamas, where they featured a panel of amazing and dynamic women. And I was so blessed to be one of those women, to be able to advocate for more women to come into the industry and see themselves being a part of it. So I think advocacy is what's helping us to break through.
And tell me, why do you think more women should consider, you know, going into this industry?
Because, you know, it's always been the thought that maritime is a male-dominated field. But when you think about maritime, it's more than just shipping and saying that you're a captain of a vessel. You know, you have to think about the paperwork that's involved in this. You know, women can get involved in the maritime logistics and port management aspect of it. You have the legal aspect, which I'm passionate about. You know, these vessels, as they're traversing our waters, sometimes, you know, things happen. So you need engineers, you need people who can make sure that the vessels are seaworthy. You can tell I'm passionate about it, right?
I love it. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just so many things that's involved in it. There's education, there's training, there's law enforcement, you know what I mean? There's just so much. You need agents, you need brokers. Women can find themselves involved in any aspect of the maritime industry. It's more than just saying you're going on board a vessel for many months and away from your family. You can be, you know, on shore like me.
Yes,
working in an office.
Yes, good. Lana, thank you so much. You're so impressive. We appreciate you being here. If you see some buildings with blue lights, it's not an alien invasion. It's the veining. It's the celebration of World Maritime Day. We'll have more after the break.
Beginning Monday, September 16th, it's the new lineup of ZNS News and Current Affairs, 6 p.m. It's What's Trending, Lifestyles in the Afternoon with Stacey Campbell Marshall, 6:30. We head to the north for the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, 7 p.m. It's the Bahamas Tonight National Report, followed by the Bahamas Tonight Access, now at 7:30. Then at 8 p.m., your nightly news analysis show, The Rundown, with Clint Watson, and 11 p.m., the Bahamas Tonight at 11 with Royston Jones. It's a full lineup of the new ZNS, and it starts Monday, September 16th. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
for staying with us on What's Trending. The right stationery can make or break any event, especially if it's your special day. What can be more memorable than that? Well, one local company, Saint to Saint Creative, pulls out all the stops with standout stationery for weddings and other special events. Tracy Lusant is the owner of Saint to Saint Creative Co., and she's here live in studio. So welcome to the studio, Tracy.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Now listen, Tracy, these are really beautiful and intricate designs. How did you get into this? What made you decide to do this?
Well, we have always had a creative eye, I would say, since 2005. I started making flyers for school, designing, and so it elevated as I grew older into stationery work and signage work.
All right, so when a client comes in, you know, sometimes they have a whole bunch of ideas or they may not have any idea at all what they want. How do you walk them through the process?
Well, the consultation process is a very key process at our company. If a client doesn't have any idea or if they have too many, that's fine. We have a plethora of designs they can choose from. They can get inspiration online and we hook them up. We make what you want. We make your dream come true.
Good, that sounds good. So tell me about some of these. You know, I find that these millennial weddings and baby showers, things are getting like really, really, you know, big these days and everybody wants something. So tell me about some of these. I see this was for a baby blessing?
Yes, this was for a christening this is actually the co-owner's godson. So she made this specifically for him. And we also do graduation signs as well, but we specialize in the bridal industry. So you have right here a seating chart, let your guests know where they're seating, greet them on the sign as well, and behind you as well.
And this one is really nice.
Yes, that's an acrylic sign. So with this one, we use a special material called vinyl, where we cut that out ourselves, and we can decorate the back with different color paints, and it's very gorgeous.
Okay, and this is another one of the seating charts. These are very popular at weddings.
Yes, they are.
It takes away that paper flipping around.
Yes.
It looks much nicer. So tell me about, this is one of your more intricate wedding designs. So tell me about this.
So the fall season is here and winter is coming up as well. So this is one of our favorite designs. It is a winter and wonderland design.
Oh, this is a wedding invitation?
This is an invitation.
So it comes in this box.
Yes, it does.
It's delivered to people in this box and you open it up.
You open it up.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, sure.
Oh, wow, look at that. And it has the invitation on that mirror. That is really, really beautiful. Oh my goodness. Wow, that is very creative.
Thank you.
Things have really advanced. So this is a popular trend. What are some other trends that you're seeing for the season?
Yeah, so the best trend right now is the wedding mirrors. You can use them to take selfies. We don't have one on set right now, but we offer that service as well. Your guests can just walk up, read the little message that you have on the mirror, take a picture, upload it to their Instagram using your hashtag. Your hashtag can be on the mirror as well. It's a very trending product.
Nice. This all looks really, really good. Now, where are you located? How do people get in touch with you?
Okay, so we have an office not too far from ZNS, actually. We're right in Palmdale. Near Home Fabrics, upstairs in the Darfield Plaza, right upstairs.
Oh, nice. And your Instagram, your social media?
Our Instagram name is Sani Meraki Designs for now.
Okay.
That's about to change, and it's the same thing for Facebook as well, Sani Meraki Designs.
Good. Well, thank you so much for joining us in studio and filling us in on what goes on to make memories, really good memories for so many people.
Yes.
Very, very nice. Later in the show, we'll have a sneak peek of a new clothing line launching at the end of the month. You do not want to miss it. That and so much more when we come back.
From paradise to paradise, Bahamasair invites you to embark on a seamless island journey from the sun-kissed coast of Nassau, the Bahamas, to the rhythmic shores of Montego Bay, Jamaica. Soar high above a turquoise tapestry on the most trusted airline in the Caribbean. Our inaugural flight takes wing on November 17th, 2024. Don't delay. Book your idyllic escape today.
We have more than anyone else. We are the most. We are news leaders, and credibility is the order of the day.
Why don't you come to the most? Only the sun can cover you better than our new digital product with exclusive stories and entertaining content.
We are the most. Community TV page and radio community announcements. The most viewers and listeners in the country. We have the most years of the human history recorded. There's no archive like ours.
I came back home to bring you even more news and local programming. We're simply the most, the new ZNS.
Hey everyone, it's your boy Vontae, and welcome back to another episode of The Drop. Keep going.
2 minutes to airtime. I came back home to make sure you have the most in news and entertainment. We're simply the most.
And I came back home to make sure that you have the most in information, education, entertainment, and inspiration. We're simply the most. The new ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
I know with the weekend rolling in, we're always looking for somewhere that has the vibes. This location has a phenomenal sunset that may just fit the bill for you and your friends. Take a look.
So Sunset Beach Club, we kind of base it around, like you said, we're right on the water, probably the best sunset view you have in Nassau. And we just want Sunset Beach Club to be a place where people can come, after work, on the weekend, even during lunchtime, to just wind down, relax, and have a beautiful view of the ocean. What we celebrate the most, about our beautiful Bahamas is our water. So we want to bring all what's Bahamian to Sunset Beach Club, and also have a spot where locals and tourists alike can come and just sit back, relax, and enjoy. And also, if you look at our menu, the theme of our menu is, it's all light, refreshing, things you want to enjoy by the water, in the water, looking at the water.
Jamie Saunders of the Sunset Beach Club sums up what an experience would be like at the Oasis on the western strip of the island for patrons. It's also a happening spot for fun events, especially heading into the weekend.
So the event right now is called Casamigos Drink with Friends, and it's our end of summer celebration. And basically, we just wanted to close out the summer the right way. We have a great partnership with Casamigos, with CBL. And, we're doing a lot of work with the Diageo brands. So we just wanted to close out the summer with something big, something great. And I don't know if you guys heard about or saw the Cinco de Mayo party that we had. It was a hit with Casamigos. So it's definitely, something that people look forward to here at Sunset Beach Club.
And while brand collaborations are welcome, Saunders admits that the club is always finding creative ways to keep their guests entertained with popular acts.
DJ Begins is a great collaborator, of ours. We do a lot of work with him. This is the end of summer party, but we do have a lot more things lined up for you, especially with the different brands we're working with CBL. So I kind of want to keep it a surprise for you guys, but I can give you a little hint. So tonight's all about Casamigos, and then we have something with Kettle One coming out pretty soon. But I'm going to keep you guys guessing. Just follow our socials, and you'll see more things coming out real soon.
And the vibes are right to set the tone for the weekend. In studio, we have owner Sturman Roll of Culture Clothing. He's with us to share some of his designs with us today. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
We're so happy to have you. And before we get into the collection itself, because we have a fashion show, tell us how you formed the clothing company.
So the company actually started in 2018. Now, the interesting part about it was I was not one of the founders.
Okay.
So there were actually a few persons that started the company, like I said, in 2018. And then myself and another person, we both would have joined on with them this year, actually, for Independence Collection. And so this would be my official second collection with the company.
Very excited. And what do you have coming up for this very special month?
So this month is, of course, breast cancer. Well, next month will be breast cancer awareness, October. And so what we decided to do was that we wanted to create fashion that would have been something for a cause, but still also something that you can wear outside of the season. So we have some pieces that are actually on the nose, breast cancer, and then there are some things that are just pink that you could wear at any point.
And what went into some of the design, considerations for this?
The main thing that we thought about was we wanted it to be something that would have been something that anyone would want to wear. So it's not just like, maybe just for breast cancer, and then I put it back in the closet. But it actually would be something that you could wear to church, you could wear it to brunch, you could wear it to dinner, you could wear it to the office. So we wanted to make sure that it was something that was comfortable, but still stylish, that you would actually want to wear it.
All right, and you got some sizes for, you know, everybody?
Everybody.
All right.
Everybody.
The big, sexy, and
whether
slim,
big,
thickums?
small, in the middle.
All right.
Something for everybody.
Now tell me, before we, you know, go to the fashion show, how do people find you? Give us your social, and where do they find you?
They can find us at culturedclothing.com, and that's with a K, Cultured and Clothing with a K. That's our website, and then they can also follow us on social media, Cultured Clothing Co. That's Instagram, Facebook, or they can send us an email at culturedclothing@gmail.com.
Great. So let's get to our fashion show. You brought a few things here for us. Tell us about it.
So this here is our dry fit. This would be our on-the-nose breast cancer design. As you can see, it has a ribbon in it, the part that's in her shirt.
Yes.
And on the inside of it, we have somewhat of a Bahamian pattern and fabric style. And then there is the colors that we wrap, which are the pinks. We have different shades of pink. And so this would be something that I would advise somebody if you're going to be doing Race for the Cure, you want to wear something that you wrap in the office. This would definitely be the pick for that.
Okay, great. Thank you, John. Came up. Thank you so much. And this is the Pink Sands line.
Yes, it's a part of the Pink Sands collection.
Okay,
Yes.
Pink Sands collection. And we have, who else do we have coming out?
So this here is another part of the collection that we have, and it is a pink color block shirt. And in this one we have here, it's actually a unisex shirt. We wanted to have something, so this would be a part of something that you can wear any day. We wanted, like I said, we wanted to have something that person can just wear wherever or whenever. And this would be one of those pieces that you can just, if you decide that you're just feeling pink today, you can put it on.
Okay.
So it's both for men and women.
I see it's in the darker pink and the lighter like you have
so we
on.
have different shades.
All right,
Yeah.
so you do have stuff for men and women.
Correct.
All right, good. And all of these designs, you're able to order them online, or is there a store that they can go into?
So they can actually order everything through our website. So they can message us on the Facebook page, and then, of course, if they need any help, they send them to the website, and we'll be there to help them if they need it. But everything is done through the website. And then free delivery, who doesn't like
Oh, we love free delivery.
Right. So you don't even have to get up and leave your home. When you place an order, we'll make sure the order gets to you.
Now, how do you choose the fabrics? You know, when it comes into the design, there's so many factors that go, you know, into play. How do you choose the fabrics? Like, how do you design, how do you decide, what you want it to look like?
I think for me, one of the key factors was considering what I would actually wear. So I went in my closet and I was like, what did I buy recently? And I started looking and comparing fabrics and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, I bought this shirt and this was a particular fabric. And so I basically just went based on that. And so, again, using things that are like trending, that's in now. So, yeah.
And I guess you read a lot and see, you know, what the trends are out there.
Yeah.
In the future, do you have any, you know, plans? What do you plan to expand? You know, the clothes are really beautiful. I was looking online; they're very beautiful. And how do you decide, like, okay, we're gonna choose this, cut this way? I mean, do you have any, you know, models that you go after? And I really appreciate, like we were speaking earlier about having clothes that fit curvier women.
Right,
I mean,
right.
Those considerations, how do they come into play?
Well, that's definitely a big thing to consider because as Bahamians, we are the most bigger people, right? So you have to consider it cannot just be that we create for one body type. It has to be for everyone. And a lot of things, what we did also was we made sure that we had women a part of the process. So we made sure, we was like, okay, well, we had this idea, we wanted to do that, and then we would send it over, hey, what do you think about that?
Oh, good.
And so we had that feedback to say, I don't know, I'm not sure, or I don't know how that would fit bigger women. And so we wanted to make sure that we had something, that we had an opinion for somebody who's actually gonna wear it. Because I wouldn't just wanna give you something to wear and that you have to wear it as a woman. So made sure we had that female opinion in the conversation.
That's very important. So how important was it for you to launch this specific line for Breast Cancer Awareness Month?
So for us, it was something that was important because we wanted to, again, had a fashion for a cause is essentially what we kind of deemed it as. So our thing is at the end of the month, based on what we make for this month, we're going to take some of the proceeds and actually give back to those who are actually in the fight of cancer. And so we wanted to not only just, because we have something that we'll be releasing called the Face of Strength, which is a part of our campaign. And this person, she's going to be somebody who's a survivor of cancer. And so we're going to ensure that we highlight this person so they talk of the triumphs, the struggles, and all of that dealing with breast cancer. And so we also wanted to do our part to make sure that we gave back. So it's not just about making money, but it's actually about, in turn, we take this and actually give back to those who are actually in need.
Great. So we're going to look at another design. Oh, well, come on now. What is this piece? Tell me about this.
So this one is actually one of the caftans, and we have it again in 2 shades. So her shade is similar to what I have on, and the other one is similar to the shirt that he would have had on.
Okay, the darker pink.
And there's also for this, something that I thought was pretty cool. There's actually a thread on the inside where you can actually pull it in and actually make it more form-fitting.
More in the waist.
So
okay.
You have 2 options. So you can wear it as she's wearing it now, or you can actually wear it where it's more form-fitting.
Oh, this is really beautiful. I love the fringes on the end.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very, very nice. I see a lot. You all put a lot into this line.
Yeah, we thought about it. We really thought about it.
Thank you so much for being with us today. And tell us again where we can find you on social media. Tell us where they can go.
So you can find us Facebook, Instagram at Cultured Clothing, both of those with a K instead of a C, and then also at culturedclothing.com.
All right, it is clear that Cultured Clothing is on brand to stay. More with What's Trending after the break.
Are you ready for the hardest sports show on the market? It's called The Timeout, Sundays on the ZNS television network. In our first show, 4 decades of sports in the country.
Coming up in next week's show, hear how one remarkable individual beat the odds. We also have what's trending in social media and so much more. Well, that's the end of our show for this week. Join us on Monday at 6 p.m. for another exciting show on the ZNS network. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Clint Watson has been the trusted voice of journalism for over 2 decades. He is your first choice for hard-hitting discussions, your best choice for current affairs issues and investigative journalism. It's time to start the journey of relentless journalism. It's time to start the journey of facts over fiction. It's time for the Rundown with Clint Watson here on ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
At the House of Assembly, I'm Makush Lapinder. This is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Here's a look at tonight's top stories.
Concerning rise in new HIV infections in the Bahamas.
You should know the Marriage Act, and once you pass that exam, then they can appoint you a marriage officer.
Also, a local pastor calls out unlicensed clergy for officiating weddings. And all eyes on Hurricane Helen. Hear how this major storm could impact the northern Bahamas.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition start now.
Of 15,000 new HIV infections globally among youth aged 15 to 24, 27% of those were in the Caribbean, according to a new UNAIDS report that ranks the Bahamas high among that age bracket in the region. Good evening, all. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Dr. Nakia Forbes breaking down the alarming report, giving a more accurate snapshot of figures in the country. Cleopatra Murphy has tonight's top story.
A new UNAIDS report has the Bahamas tied for second in the region with St. Kitts and Nevis at 35% for new infections among the 15 to 24 age group, with Barbados topping the list at 37%. Director of the National HIV/AIDS and Infectious Diseases Program, Dr. Nakia Forbes, however, explains UNAIDS uses what is called the spectrum model that makes projections based on information countries provide that sometimes differ from local epidemiology.
Some of the things that it looks at to generate those statistics
is things like new HIV diagnoses, the number of people on medications, deaths due to AIDS, and treatment coverage in pregnant women.
Based on Bahamian figures, Forbes says 130 people were diagnosed with HIV in 2023, with 22 new infections among that group.
The largest age group affected was the age group 30 to 39 years of age at 28%.
Okay.
And the second highest age group affected was age 40 to 49 at 21%. And then in the age group youth between the ages of 15 to 24 years, that accounted for 17%.
Forbes says 53% of those cases were males. Over 10 years, she says new diagnoses among youth decreased by 57% up to 2023, with a slight increase from 11 new cases in 2021 to 22 in 2023 among 15 to 24 age group. Overall, Forbes says trends point to a decline in new infections.
We don't know actual number of new diagnoses, but what we have is the number of persons we've tested. And how do we interpret this? It's something we have to keep an eye on, and we need to continue to keep HIV at the forefront, because each HIV infection is preventable.
In another report, Dr. Forbes will discuss HIV prevention strategies and treatment options for individuals who are HIV positive. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Thanks, Cleo. Well, in other news from police, officers in Abaco are investigating an attempted suicide involving a 21-year-old female that took place around 6 a.m. on Guana Key on Wednesday, September 25th, 2024. Preliminary reports indicate that the victim, while at her residence, inflicted injuries to her wrist by using a sharp object. She was transported to the medical facility in Marsh Harbor, where she received medical attention. Police say she was airlifted to New Providence and then admitted to hospital for further medical care. In other news, a human rights activist weighs in on the DEU's historic discovery of a hydroponic lab in Grand Bahama during a drug raid. The activist says it's time to explore ways to empower individuals with certain skills rather than incarcerating them.
I'm not saying that he should not be penalized, but I would say it would make no use to put him in jail.
Liberation over incarceration. That is what human rights activist Joe Darville believes should be considered after DEU's discovery of a hydroponic lab in Grand Bahama. Darville asserts that individuals with the capability to create such labs should not necessarily end up behind bars.
I would advise the government and the police to scrutinize this situation, because this individual may not be on his own. So you got to find out, are these really people who maybe have gone away and studied it in abroad, and they know exactly how to do it? So maybe their expertise can be utilized in the legitimization of the growth of marijuana for medical purposes.
In May, the government tabled a compendium of bills seeking to establish a regulated medical cannabis framework for the Bahamas, while ensuring strong regulatory oversight to protect public health.
This might be a great occasion for the government to learn about how this is all done, so that they were able to find out exactly what type of people you go into legitimize in the legal production of this particular substance.
Additionally, Darville says legislation could provide an opportunity for those with expertise in cannabis cultivation to transition into the legal medical market.
I mean, that individual can begin to teach the others who need to know. I mean, he did something, quote unquote, illegal, you know, but it's not the end of the world. And maybe what he was doing was going to be detrimental to a whole lot of people and maybe economically feasible to him. But utilize him with his skills now, how to do this in a proper, productive way that's going to be beneficial.
Just one station.
In this next report, a local pastor is sounding the alarm on clergymen performing wedding ceremonies who do not have the license to do so. It is a story you will see just on one station.
I'm saying you as a...
Local Bishop Reno Smith is sounding the alarm on clergymen who are performing wedding ceremonies without the proper license to do so. He says that a wedding can only be official if it is conducted by an ordained pastor who has a marriage license.
What they would do is they would get the documents to the couple 2 or 3 days later after they would have had someone else to sign off on the marriage. And so legally, the people are thinking that legally they're married, when in actuality they are not.
Bishop Smith further said while the Marriage Act has provisions which says that weddings can be performed by anyone, however, there's more to it, also making clear that a justice of the peace cannot perform marriage ceremonies if they are not a licensed marriage officer.
Legal marriage officer who will be signing your documents must be present. And if you see the signature of a marriage officer who is not present, who did not perform your wedding on the certificate, you need to question that.
Smith is asking persons to cease and desist from officiating marriages when they know they have no legal grounds to do so. He is also warning those persons who are engaged to look out for a number of things.
Ask your pastor if he is a marriage officer. If you don't go to a church, or if your pastor does not go to a church, go to the Registrar General's office, ask him for a list of registered licensed marriage officers.
What is also important to note, according to the bishop, is the fact that marriage officers are appointed for various districts and that you cannot perform weddings outside of your district.
If you're a marriage officer in Abaco, you're appointed for the district of Abaco, you cannot perform legal weddings outside of Abaco.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
Thanks, Jolanda. Now, besides a licensed marriage officer, a magistrate at the Register of the Supreme Court and at the Supreme Court can officiate a marriage. The storm strengthened to a dangerous Category 3 on Thursday and is expected to impact Florida's Big Bend area and then Georgia. Helen is forecast to crash ashore Thursday evening with catastrophic and deadly storm surges that could be as high as 20 feet in some areas, as well as strong, damaging winds, the Hurricane Center said. So just how will this storm impact the northern Bahamas? Our Matthew Martinborough has the latest.
Following the effects of Hurricane Helen, the Bahamas Met Department urges the public to be on advisory for the heavy winds and rainfall that is expected to dwindle down by Friday.
We'll start to see an improvement in our sky conditions. However, the winds are going to stay on the breezy side because the storm will still be interacting with a ridge of high pressure that is to the east of us. So between the storm to the west and the high pressure ridge to the east, it'll keep our wind pressure gradient tight, which will keep the breezy conditions for us into Friday night.
Senior Met Officer Trinard Tyne says do not be fooled by the waves of sun that we may experience as the weather continues to change rapidly due to storm wind speeds.
Right now, as it's making its way across, we are going to feel the effects of the outer bands of Helen right now. So that's why you'll have this sunshine peeking out and getting cloudy and heavy downpours and stuff like that, lightning, thunderstorm activity, and then clear right back up again. So we're going to have basically up and down situation with rainfall and sunshine throughout the course of the day because of the outer bands of the system.
Tynes also cautions against any boating or beach activities, with the choppy seas being a major factor.
Give it until probably into the weekend before we start heading out and doing boating activity. For beach goers, places, swimmers and stuff like that, we advise them to stay out of the water because when you have situations like there's a high risk of rip currents.
The Bahamas Met Department advises the public that although warnings are sent out urgently on a regular basis, they are not 100% definite, but are strong possibilities which must be monitored closely. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Matthew Martinborough.
And still to come.
When we come back, a grand celebration in honor of the late Minister Obi Roshcom. That story, sports, and more with the Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition continues.
There are some things that are undeniably Bahamian. A good count salad, junkanoo, the way we worship, the way we take care of one another, all undeniably Bahamian. And right in the midst of our iconic things, places, and people is Commonwealth Bank. Increasing access, sponsoring dreams, working alongside Bahamians to increase the quality of their lives for more than 60 years. Commonwealth Bank, nothing more than being Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you.
renovate, and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Don't miss the Park and Shop sale. Enjoy 25% off store-wide, excluding underwear and red tag items on September 26th, 27th, 28th, and 30th. Plus, check out their 50% off racks with items as low as $10. Store hours are 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Calling all vendors. The 2025 Grand Bahama Junkanoo Parade vendor applications are now available. Collect your application from the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture on Region Center East, West Explorers Way. The deadline is October 18th. For more information, call 351-6667.
This me, Sweet Emily. Join me as we celebrate Sunday, October the 13th, 2024 at Sunset Village, Fish Fry, 8 Mile Rock. As we celebrate KB and friends, we celebrate the music, the legacy of KB. Get your tickets and meet me there.
Here are some tips for having your home ready for a hurricane. Keep all trees and shrubs trimmed. Bring in all outdoor furniture, plants, or any other items that may become airborne due to high winds. Cover windows and doors with hurricane shutters or pre-cut plywood. Clear drains and gutters. And remember to secure important documentation in case you have to evacuate. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. A gospel concert was held to honor the late former cabinet minister and member of parliament for West, Grand Bahama and Bimini, Obi Wilshcombe. Residents gathering at the 8 Mile Rock Gymnasium to celebrate his life and legacy as a true champion of the West.
We do so as a people and may the road be trod.
The life of the late Minister of Social Services, Broadcasting and Information and Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini recognized through the special gospel concert at the 8 Mile Rock Gymnasium. The parked room heard a number of musical performances.
Clap your hands, everybody. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. If you came to praise him, let me see you lift your...
The Minister for Grand Bahama, Ginger Moxie, touched on the impact Wilshcombe made to the country.
Done so much for this community, has done so much to ensure that people's lives have been impacted from West End to East End on Grand Bahama Island.
Senator James Turner encouraging the family to continue his legacy.
God has been good to your family because they gave you a great man. When a man does what Obi Wilshcombe did for so many others, he ought to be celebrated. I don't come here sad. I don't come here in no strange state. I come here to celebrate a good man.
The current Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, Kingsley Smith, describing Wilshcombe as a mighty man of valor.
He was a friend and a warrior leader, a great example of leadership, in fact. So tonight, we celebrate who he was, someone who epitomized leadership, someone whose life reflected a heart of service and commitment to faith, family, friends, and his country.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson, Everest.
May his soul continue to rest in peace. Well, it's news no man wants to hear, and one that rocked Don Mitchell's world until he decided to take action. 16 years after being diagnosed with prostate cancer, he's not only a survivor, but he is thriving and wants men to know it does not have to be a death sentence. Cleopatra Murphy has his story.
I drove very long drive home. I took the longest route. And I remember that I cried.
Prostate cancer survivor Don Mitchell describes feeling an emotional gut punch when he was diagnosed with the disease at the age of 66. The diagnosis came during his annual prostate exam while living in Bermuda, and being very health conscious, he never saw it coming.
I went to the gym sometimes 7 days a week. I tell people I was eating tree branches. I was eating so healthy. I was so exercising so much. I did not think I could ever get any kind of disease. And here I am with prostate cancer. So where I didn't expect it, it shocked me completely.
Mitchell soon regrouped and began looking into treatments for the stage 1 diagnosis, ultimately getting a robotic-assisted radical prostatectomy in Boston, having his prostate removed. He describes the recovery.
Of course, the first thing you have after the surgery is total 100% incontinence, urine incontinence. So I was on the pants, the big pants, not no band pad. I had like the band pants and all that, And that is the beginning of the recovery stage, though, you see. And you can recover virtually 100% from that. So, you do these things called Kegels. I don't know if you're familiar with them. Wow, you are very informed. And so even this morning, I did Kegels.
Now at 77, the prostate cancer survivor continues to preach early detection and has this advice for men.
Take charge of your health. It is your life. You have a responsibility to yourself, to your family, to your God.
Pastor Grand Bahama chapter, along with its partners, will host a health fair and symposium at the Christ the King Anglican Church Hall on Friday, September 27th. Dr. Robin Roberts will give a presentation, while prostate cancer survivors will share their own personal testimonials. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
And that's a look at stories making news. Jay, I pray the Jaguars are doing much better.
Remember, I went to some volleyball games yesterday and today, and I must say, some really, really talented players at the high school level.
All right, we'll see what's coming up next. But first, a check on weather.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
Huh?
See news in the making? Call us at 352-9713 or 359-5167, or you can email us at zns3news@gmail.com.
The Forever Flower Shop. Check out our new selection of artificial flowers and wreaths. Choose stems for your own projects or get a pre-made arrangement as a quick fix to a dull space. If you're a soon-to-be bride, inquire about bulk ordering for floral options that won't break the bank. It's all here at Island Bedding and Furniture, located at number 5 Queens Highway, across from Caribbean Veterinary.
Sometimes you want pizza vibe without the whole dang pie. Now, there's a new way to get the bold flavors of pizza whenever and wherever you want. You just got to try Pizza Hut's new melt in buffalo chicken, meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, and chicken bacon wrap for just $6.99 with that. Pizza Hut's new melts are cheesy, crispy, and loaded. Call us at 352-9191 to satisfy your pizza vibe cravings.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
Calling all judges, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, in conjunction with the Great Bahama Jochanoo Corporation, invites you to judge the 2025 Great Bahama Jochanoo Parade Yard Rush. Are you a judge? We're calling you. Are you interested in being a judge? We are calling you. Applications are now available at the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, Region Center East, West Explorers Way. Or you can just sign up online via our QR code provided. But the deadline is October 7, 2024 for all applications to be submitted via in-office or online. The parade is speedily approaching, so let's get there and let's get it done. Sign up today and become a judge. It's a Pine Yard Rush. Oh, yeah. Let's get ready to rumble. It's a Pine
Freeport, get ready to witness the talent explosion of the year. It's Freeport's Got Talent. 3 epic nights, September 27th through the 29th at Port Lakaya Marketplace, starting at 7 p.m. Bring the entire family and come see the best of Freeport's rising stars, who will walk away with a grand prize. This is a competition you don't want to miss. Admission is free. Brought to you by Grand Bahama Port Authority.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Vontae, representative for the Provision Band Boys right now.
This is Jason, JMC Entertainment Providenciales.
It's your boy, Super PV Entertainer, all the way from the Turks and Caicos Islands.
Asking you guys to join me on the 13th of October
at Sunset Village.
8 Mile Rock.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're celebrating the life, the legacy, the music
of KB. Get your tickets and beat us there.
It's going to be a great time. Join me there.
Don't meet me there. Beat me there. Let's go.
Ladies and gents, I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports First in Sports, Day 2 of the Ivan Butler High School Volleyball Tournament in the swing of things at St. George's Gym. On the girls' side, the Tabernacle Falcons took down the home team St. George's in 2 straight sets.
My girls did their best. No one was bad today. Everyone was really good. Me, who just came off an injury not too long ago, still recovering, but for me, myself, I felt like I could have did better, but I have a next game, and I'm able to prove that. But at the end of the day, what I always do, I put God first in everything.
In the second girls' game, 8 Mile Rock Blue Jays defeated Jack Haywood in 2 straight sets, 19-13, and again, 19-13.
I think they had a better game yesterday, but nonetheless, they still played their part, and they did well. I spoke to the girls about, their footwork and, proper bunk, just the usual techniques that we would have learned, during the preparations coming towards the tournament.
I feel as if we could have played better, and we played according to how the team that we played had played.
Following those 2 games, Tabernacle came back to beat BMAS in 3 sets. They lost the first one 18-20, but came back to win the next 2 sets 24-22 and 15-6. Now on the boys' side, St. George's defeated Tabernacle in 2 straight sets, 19-9 and 19-7. And St. George's came back in a doubleheader to take down BMAS after dropping the first set 16-19. They would come back to win the next 2 sets, 20-18 and 15-9. Action will continue this week with the championships wrapping up on Saturday. And last in sports, the Bahamas national archery team earned a total of 15 medals at the Caribbean Development Championships, most recently in Jamaica. Team Bahamas came back with 4 gold, 7 silver, and 4 bronze medals. Ladies and gents, that is your Thursday check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Your Facebook friend is up next. Be blessed.
I'm Derek Stubbs.
And I'm Cindy Russell. ZNS 810 AM presents
Grand Bahama. Get ready for the event of the year. Experience a live recording of one of the Bahamas' leading gospel ensembles, Shep Back, on stage with some of gospel's greats, along with the Grand Bahama gospel community. Sunday, National Heroes Day weekend, October 13th, 7 p.m., Jubilee Cathedral, East Settlers Way. It's a free event. Don't miss an experience of a lifetime.
But it doesn't stop there. You can be a part of the largest music workshop and coming together of the island's best in creative arts. Register today by scanning here or get an application from your local church. The Grand Bahama Music Workshop begins Wednesday, October 9th at 7 p.m. nightly through Friday the 11th. Sessions for choir members, praise teams, dancers, musicians, sound technicians, and media operators. The nightly sessions followed by a mass choir rehearsal to record special songs at Shabak's live recording.
With BGC's crystal clear mobile service, stay connected seamlessly, whether on land or at sea. Our reliable postpaid plans keep your loved ones closer, no matter where life takes you.
Get a jump on your health and fitness goals with the Fitness Connections Transformation Challenge. We've already helped hundreds of people get closer to their health and fitness goals and achieve awesome results like you see here. You can scan the QR code to find out more. But let me tell you what all comes with the challenge. One, you get 20% off coupons to the Fitness Connection every 2 weeks. You get coaching calls with us on Zoom. You get accountability, us checking in on you. And you also get the chance to win $1,000 and other prizes if you are the winner. So what do you have to lose? $50, you can have a chance to win $1,000 and get the body of your dreams. So scan the code now, sign up. We're here to help you.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight is coming your way next.
Clint Watson has been the trusted voice of journalism for over 2 decades. He is your first choice for hard-hitting discussions, your best choice for current affairs issues and investigative journalism. It's time to start the journey of relentless journalism. It's time to start the journey of facts over fiction. It's time for the Rundown with Clint Watson here on ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better. Covering the news seems easy, but we put thought into what we're doing. The Bahamas Tonight Access Now, here to inform, educate, and entertain. A new type of newscast featuring social media trends, news from around the islands, interviews with the people you like, sports, weather, and fabulous entertainment. That's a Bahamas Tonight Access Now with Marcellus Hall and LaDon Davis. Live, starting September 16th.
I'll be coming for y'all again.
Are you ready for the hottest sports show on the market? It's called The Timeout. Sundays on the ZNS television network. In our first show, 4 decades of sports in the country.
At the House of Assembly, I'm Makush Lapinder. This is ZNS.
Are you ready for the hottest sports show on the market? It's called The Timeout. Sundays on the ZNS television network. In our first show, 4 decades of sports in the country.
Clint Watson has been the trusted voice of journalism for over 2 decades. He is your first choice for hard-hitting discussions, your best choice for current affairs issues and investigative journalism. It's time to start the journey of relentless journalism. It's time to start the journey of facts over fiction. It's time for the Rundown with Clint Watson here on ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better. Beginning Monday, September 16th, it's the new lineup of ZNS News and Current Affairs, 6 p.m. It's What's Trending, Lifestyles in the Afternoon with Stacey Campbell Marshall, 6:30. We head to the north for the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, 7 p.m. It's the Bahamas Tonight National Report, followed by the Bahamas Tonight Access, now at 7:30. Then at 8 p.m., your nightly news analysis show, The Rundown with Clint Watson, and 11 p.m., the Bahamas Tonight at 11 with Royston Jones. It's a full lineup of the new ZNS, and it starts Monday, September 16th. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
From June 1st to November 30th, the ZNS Radio and Television Network is the #1 source in the Bahamas for hurricane information before, during, and after a storm. Now is the time to choose your radio and television hurricane season ad packages. Get extra special rates and run the ads only when you want them to run. Call the ZNS sales office today at 502-3800.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, overall crime is down, but it's what's needed to continue that trend that has the National Security Minister speaking out. Tune in to hear his no-nonsense appeal. Also, is there room to survive in an oversaturated business market? A leading voice in the business community has his say on what role larger organizations should play. And the Prime Minister calls it a win-win for the government and gas dealers. But tonight, hear from an industry spokesman on the losing end of the pending gas and diesel hike. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Bahamas tonight. The global arena gets an earful from the government's lead attorney. Taking aim at the heavyweights, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Senator the Honorable Ryan Pinder, today sought to make as strong a case as any for a change in how international tax rules are developed and enforced on countries like the Bahamas. Addressing the STEP conference in Buenos Aires, Argentina, the AG argued that the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD, policies and approach to enforcement frequently favored the wealthier, developed economies, which really reflect their membership. For instance, developing economies are not afforded a vote when consequential rules are adopted, a process the AG lambasted as flawed, inequitable, and unfair, adding that the OECD has consistently ignored the consequences of its own agenda for non-members who are excluded from critical phases of policy design. Instead came the call for the Bahamas to be treated fairly. Now, instead came the call for the Bahamas to be treated fairly. For its part, the AG vowed that the Bahamas will continue being active in further negotiations to ensure its national interest is reflected in the global tax infrastructure. Well, in other news, with every car theft, every armed robbery, every shooting, and every homicide comes the public cry that crime is too high. But though National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Munro, says he's seen far too many photos of murders in police briefings, behind the weapons, young men seeking to obliterate one another. According to Munro, on one scene alone, 80 rounds of ammunition were fired to kill just one man.
Unless and until, as a country, we realize and accept what we've been saying, the solution to crime is an all of government effort, all of society effort. And so whenever you try to isolate any part of it is when you have the problem. So when you say, what is the church doing? You're trying to say that let's blame them. And what is this one? Chief Justice Hall had a simple saying. You either can find time to fix the blame, or you can take the time to fix the problem.
Now, Munro's comments come in the face of a 13% increase in murders, a 19%, 26%, and 13% decrease in attempted murders, armed robberies, and offenses against a person, respectively. Overall, crime, though, is said to be down by 6%. Still, the minister accepts that that's still too high.
Year journey to becoming a murderer. The 16-year journey to becoming a murderer involves all of us. It involves us when we see a mother struggling and do nothing about it. It involves us when we don't become involved in all of these church programs or other civic programs. So it really behooves all of us, Madam Speaker, to become a part of the solution. So if one wants to know how you get the numbers down of murders, you get the numbers down by decreasing the number of murderers. It's just very simple.
Meantime, human trafficking rakes in an average of $27 billion annually, affecting millions around the world, which lends to it requiring urgent attention. Addressing the issue during a workshop last evening, National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Munro, noted that behind such exploitation, poverty, a lack of education, and mainly countries in conflict. That spillover, however, has now made it to the shores of the Bahamas.
The demands that drive it are for cheap labor and for the sex industry in the strip clubs and prostitution. As I speak, you well know that these things happen in this country. And so there is no point of us seeking to hide our heads in the sand and say that this is happening somewhere else. You would be fairly certain that with all of the indicators that it is surely happening here, and in ASP Bell can tell you, they have found even young Bahamian girls who were trafficked for sexual exploitation by family members.
The minister adding that all the legislation in the world, coupled with resources, will not break the back of this scourge. And the reason, he says, is quite clear.
For instance, sex workers, it's usually in apartments, in neighborhoods, sometimes very respectable neighborhoods. When people are exploiting people for their labor, you asking one or two questions may get to find out that it's obvious that that is what is happening, even to somebody working for you.
A middle-aged man, the country's latest traffic fatality victim after succumbing to injuries sustained on Wednesday. According to police, the 55-year-old man was walking in the area of Madeira and Montgomery Streets around 3:15 a.m. Wednesday when he was struck. He died only a few hours later in hospital. The matter is under active investigations. Meantime, a fight of another kind for Bahamians living in Florida in the Big Bend area, as well as those in Georgia who are bracing themselves for Hurricane Helen. The Cat 3 dangerous, fast-moving storms expected to make landfall in Florida tonight and in Georgia late Friday evening. Local and international meteorologists are encouraging residents to prepare for high winds, potentially catastrophic flooding, and widespread power outages. We reached out to consulate generals in the Florida and Georgia area, Kurt Hollingsworth and Anthony Moss, to find out their plans to possibly assist Bahamians.
Following and tracking the present storm over the last few days, we're anticipating that there'll be hurricane force winds in the south of Georgia, and hopefully by the time it gets into northern Georgia, it will be a tropical storm as predicted. We have advised our diaspora to take every precaution and to be safe. We will continue to monitor the storm. It is anticipated that by mid-afternoon, late evening tomorrow, it should be out of Georgia and all the way into Tennessee as a tropical depression.
The line has been very quiet. We haven't had anyone reach out to us at the moment as far as Hurricane Helen is concerned. We anticipate that there might be some students reaching out to us from North Florida once the hurricane passes by.
Well, nearing Category 4 status, Helen has led to the closure of several airports, canceling hundreds of flights. Coming up, there is a citizens advisory tonight. We'll tell you more when we return. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report.
In the chaos of our daily lives, it's easy to be caught up in the rush. But when you're behind the wheel, remember, rushing can lead to disaster. Don't rush. Take your time. Remember, your life and others depends on it. Slow down, stay alert, and arrive alive. Because in the race of life, it's not about how fast you get there, but how safely.
This message is brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Experience the difference with BTC's fixed services. Whether you're working from home or enjoying family time, BTC ensures you're always in touch with the people and moments that count. BTC isn't just a service, it's a lifestyle. Stay connected, stay inspired, and live your best life. BTC.
KFC is giving you more to love with our KFC Bucket Meals with large sides. Get the KFC Family Bucket featuring 8 pieces of juicy chicken, family fries, and 4 biscuits that feeds 4. A KFC Deluxe Bucket with 10 pieces of delicious chicken, 2 larger sides, and 4 biscuits that feeds 4 to 6. Or a KFC Party Bucket with 15 pieces of our chicken, 3 larger sides, and 6 biscuits that feeds 6. And we'll handle the dishes, plates, and utensils included, so you can lick your fingers in peace. KFC knows value, and it's finger licking good.
From paradise to paradise, Bahamasair invites you to embark on a seamless island journey from the sun-kissed coast of Nassau, the Bahamas, to the rhythmic shores of Montego Bay, Jamaica. Soar high above a turquoise tapestry on the most trusted airline in the Caribbean. Our inaugural flight takes wing on November 17th, 2024. Don't delay. Book your idyllic escape today.
To you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
You're looking at a shot of a pond at Albany in southwestern New Providence. Welcome back. The Citizens Advisory Committee holding a meeting tonight to tell us what it's all about. We go live to our Desmond Saunders. Desmond?
Pleasant good evening, Makusla, and a pleasant good evening, Bahamas. Desmond Saunders coming to you live from the police headquarters, East Street. The Bahamas Neighborhood Watch Council teaming up with the Ministry of Security, National Security, to combat human trafficking. Human trafficking, according to Oxford Dictionary, is the unlawful act of transporting or coercing people in order to benefit from their work or service, typically in the form of forced labor or sexual exploitation. This is a global phenomenon and a scourge that has developed in our nation. And I have joining me on the broadcast this evening Mr. Kino Wong, who is the chairman of the Bahamas Neighborhood Watch Council, putting on this 2-day workshop to inform and educate community residents about human trafficking and its causes and its impact. Pleasant good evening, sir. Tell me about the inspiration behind putting this workshop together and the impact that you hope to make at the end of the day.
Well, it's been in the making for 2 years, where the National Neighborhood Watch Council have been seeing individuals in our communities that are not naturally should be there. And we have been seeing with our eyes and understanding that it could be a form of human trafficking. And there's a difference between human trafficking and human smuggling. And so we, the council, with the Ministry of National Security, planned this 2-day symposium last night and now tonight. And so we have not just here in New Providence, but we have over 50 individuals online who are tuning in from the islands of the Bahamas. And so we are happy about that as well. And so this whole idea of coming together is to bring the awareness to our community leaders to continue to observe and continue to understand that this crime that is being committed, not just here in the Bahamas, but worldwide, is a serious issue. And so if you are not informed, then you don't have the tools to work with to be able to combat this crime on human trafficking.
What appeal would you like to make to those community residents listening to this broadcast at this time?
Get involved in your neighborhood. Become your neighbor keeper. Be vigilant. observe and report what you see. Be the eyes and ears of your communities. And so once you know this, things will be better in our communities. We'll have more safer and more better communities once we can work together to combat this issue called human trafficking.
Keanu Wong, who's the president of the Bahamas Neighborhood Watch Council, and we will provide you with more details about this two-day workshop in a later newscast. For now, Desmond Son is reporting live from the police headquarters, East Street.
Well, thanks, Desmond. Ever heard of the red ocean, blue ocean strategy? Well, in business terms, the red signifies an oversaturated business market. The blue, you guessed it, is not. But according to new president of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce, Leo Rowe, it really does not matter which one entrepreneurs dive into.
We realize that there are a number of challenges with owning a business and having persons that that rely on that business for goods and services. What the Chamber Institute does is it provides a measure of support for businesses who are otherwise unable to have a training department or to supplement their training department. And so, for instance, we have a professional selling course in sales and one in customer service. The beauty of that customer service course is that it teaches the employees of these businesses how to make sure that the customer service that they provide is top tier, but we go a step further.
And to the larger organizations, Rowe opines that they too have a role to play.
Not doing their proper grounding or their research before they go into business.
Yeah.
So I understand that my friend or I see a business that's going well and I realize that they're pricing their goods and services at, let's say, $50. And so I go into that market because I think this is the new in thing without doing proper research and understanding that there's a reason that that person was able to charge $50. Perhaps they're bringing in bulk, perhaps they're partnering with someone. When I go into that business and I charge $50, I'm operating at a loss. And so understanding, first of all, the need in the market, because you may be going into a market where there's really and truly not an appetite for your product or service, and then you want to hit the wall when you realize that no one is purchasing your goods and services.
Well, in just a matter of days, the local price of gas and diesel will jump. But there's one group of drivers who's condemning the government's decision as a bad move. Danielle Dean has the story.
Data has shown that September and October are typically slow months for the local tourism industry, and by extension, taxi drivers, whose recent increase must now be fueled into the pending hike at the pumps. And as you can imagine, re-elected president of the taxi cab union, Wesley Ferguson, isn't the least bit happy about it.
You know, we just got an increase in taxi fares after some 7-8 years. And to now be hit with exorbitant gas prices, that kind of slide the rug out from underneath us. But we hope to revamp and regroup and get some new ideas going and see how we could survive in these hard economical times. But we're going to engage the petroleum companies in a minute to see if we could get a reduction in gas prices for taxi drivers.
And Ferguson is optimistic this can happen, as it has before in the early 2000s. The union, he says, has even reached out to an electric car company. And here's the thinking behind that.
To try to get them to import electrical cars that are suitable for taxis. Because, you know, the taxi industry now is moving towards larger vehicles, 13, 14-seaters. And so far, there's a lot of electrical vehicles on the streets of Nassau. Even I see the government have a whole lot of them, but they're not adaptable for the use of taxi at this time. So we would have to re-engage them, because we engaged them about 2 years ago, and they had a very aggressive plan. I think it was supposed to be by 2030. They anticipated that we would have been about 80% electrical cars, have electrical cars on the street, but that has not yet been realized. It seems as if they're not moving in that direction fast enough for us. So we'll have to re-engage them to see if we can get that process going.
The fuel increase is expected to take place Tuesday, October 1st. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Stay with us on The Beat is after the break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
A decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long. Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
ZNS Electrical has relocated. You can now find them on Chesapeake Road in the former Minute Muffler building. There, you can pick up Square D switches, combos, breakers, and breaker panels, plus all the electrical wires you need. Want meter cans, LED bulbs, and ceiling fans? You can find it all at SHSS Electrical.
Need a DNA test to find out if someone is your father, your child, or your grandparent? Call DNA Direct at 324-0665. Get a DNA test for as low as $450. Now you can prove that you are or are not related to an individual easily. Call DNA Direct 324-0665.
Don't let your home or business be in the dark. When there's a blackout, it's time to purchase the new EcoFlow portable generator. This powerful device gives you hours of uninterrupted electricity for your fans, refrigerator, television, and air conditioning units. Dial 327-4504 and see how affordable your EcoFlow portable generator is.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
The Bahamas has always boasted of pristine waters, and today the world paused to celebrate that natural resource and everything in it. Our Danielle Dean today visited the LJM Maritime Academy to speak with future mariners.
With World Maritime Day being acknowledged the last Thursday of every September, we took a ferry down to LJM Maritime Academy to find out how students there are navigating their future.
What got me started in this field is my passion for becoming a marine pilot. You know, the Bahamas is surrounded by water. We have one of the largest cruise ship registries, one of the largest ship registries in the world, so a marine pilot is something that is a big aspiration of mine.
That was second-year deck cadet Devon Turner, who summed up his preparation to be captain as rigorous yet rewarding. 17-year-old Angelique Ramming, engineering cadet, said she looked forward to the LJM beach cleanup, arranged especially for Maritime Day.
We get to change into overalls, go around on the shore, look at hermit crabs if we have the time. It's just the simple things like that that brought me to this program, and I'm really looking forward to it. There are many marine life that I personally treasure, and I think that should be treasured as well. And since most of the ocean is not explored, I think we should go towards that.
The Bahamas Reef Environment Educational Foundation's announcement last year reported that marine pollution is only getting worse. With careers like marine biology and fishing at risk, LaShawn Bryce hopes to see a change in the way persons approach marine life and the environment.
I feel like this day is very important for us to take care of our waters, for water pollution, keeping our ocean safe, and trade is a wonderful thing, so we have to make sure the ocean is always clear and stuff.
Well, thanks, Danielle. It's about that time for us to check in with LaDon and Marcellus, who will give us a sneak peek of Access Now.
Because we have a prostate cancer survivor in the house with a pretty interesting story to tell, but I want to ask Marcellus one question. Do you get your prostate checked, or are you like one of those other men who don't like to do that, or are they afraid to do so?
I don't necessarily know, I won't say it's afraid, but I have done the prostate exam, and I think it's very important. The last thing you want to do is get some bad news, so definitely stay on top of that.
All right.
Well, some good advice there, Marcellus.
Yes.
Stay with us. Our feature story is up next.
You know a fisher who braves the seas every day, bringing home a catch that feeds our communities? Nominate them now for the Anchor Awards, a night dedicated to celebrating the unsung heroes of our waters. On November 16th at the Bahama Resort, we're shining a spotlight on those who make waves, both big and small. Visit the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources Facebook page and click on the link provided to submit your nomination. Let's give our fishers the recognition they deserve. Anchor Awards 2024.
Come celebrate the Pay Fast, Live Digital campaign. Get ready to learn all about digital payments and embrace the future of finance. Ditch the old and say hello to new, faster, and safer ways to pay. So join us, check in with your personal bank, credit union, or digital wallet provider to learn everything you need to know about going digital. To learn more, visit us online at livedigitalbahamas.com and on social media. The future of pay is digital.
Marco's, the pizza that's perfect for every party, every moment, and every occasion.
Peace begins with me. In a world full of noise, I close my eyes. I'll be the calm in a raging storm. Choosing love in every word, in every deed.
Is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at...
And that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
To a spirit that not only uplifts you, but also does your body good. Join me on a journey with Bahamas Botanicals as we venture from bush to bottle. I'm Leah Cooper, and this is Good to Grow.
Good to grow. Keeping you in the know. Keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
That's right, you've heard correctly. Bahamas Botanicals' sole purpose is to bolster agriculture here in the Bahamas by infusing bush medicine and native fruits into a variety of spirits. Senior Vice President Andy Fowler says first on the lineup of healthy spirits is their Cascarilla Amato.
Cascarilla Amato is really a herbal digestive, okay? And the benefit of it, you tend to ease, helps in digesting your food after a good meal.
Fowler then took us into their botanical storage room.
These are all the raw products that we've harvested, that various farmers harvested for us, and for us to do our developmental work.
He also gives us a sneak peek on a new product.
We're looking at a male aphrodisiac. As you know, we're quite known about for our plants and what they can do, whether it's a love vine, whether it's a camalamy, whether it's a strongback, whether it's a featherbed. And so we are very excited, and having traveled to Italy and gotten their input into this particular product, we're very excited about the potential of this particular product.
Fowler says the company has been researching and testing products since 2008.
Over that time, we've been working with various botanicals. We didn't just wait until the facility was finished. So we started our research with soursop, featherbed, coca plum leaves, guava, yellow papaya, I've mentioned cerasee, allspice, we have pineapple. So this vision started long ago, and we're very excited now. We're at the point where we can begin realizing and taking all that work and now formulating these, crafting these products that we believe Bahamians will enjoy.
Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
At Fort Montague, I'm Opal Roach. This is ZNS.
The AIDS Foundation receiving a whopping $100,000 donation from Bahama Striping. Good corporate citizen there.
Speaking of good corporate citizen, Hallsbury Chambers holding a free legal clinic. Stay close for that story.
Plus, happy birthday to you, our very own radio personality, Katura Clark, celebrating her birthday in grand style today.
And coming up in sports, from Norway with love, one visitor fell in love with our country and stays to carry out his athletic training.
Tonight, Access Now starts now.
And good evening, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall.
And I'm LaDawn Davis. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, Access Now.
Well, I'll tell you what, Hurricane Helen is causing a ruckus out there in Florida and in our waters, LaDawn.
That's right, Marcellus, and I'm sure the Bahamians traveling and living in those areas are safe and sound.
One would certainly hope so. That's my hope. And let's get right into the news for you this evening. Well, the Bahama Striping Group of companies announcing today a donation that will see it give $100,000 in financial assistance to the Bahamas AIDS Foundation over the next 5 years. Company executives making the announcement during a press conference this morning over at the BSGCS Abundant Life Road offices.
We saw it fit to be able to partner with an organization that is just as passionate and committed to giving back to our country.
A part of our 15-year anniversary, decided to partner with the AIDS Foundation to lend a helping hand. We understand the work that they do, and we appreciate them for it. And we just wanted to lend a helping hand.
Now, President of the Bahamas AIDS Foundation, RME Ford Strawn, says a lot of the foundation centers on education and outreach and ultimately bringing new inspection rates of HIV to zero. This donation from Bahamas Striping will certainly go a long way towards helping the foundation achieve its goals.
Your support will have a profound impact on our ability to provide critical services, care, and education to those affected by HIV and AIDS throughout the country. This partnership reaffirms the power of collective effort in driving change and bringing hope to our community.
Seeking legal advice and not sure where and how to go about it, and the matter is of importance to you? Well, Hallsbury Chambers will be offering its 20th annual free legal clinic this coming Saturday, September 28th, under the theme Information You Need for the Life You Want. Hallsbury Chambers attorney Shelley Nairn explains some of the issues that will be dealt with.
For family matters, we'll be looking at divorces, child maintenance, adoptions, guardianships, child protections orders, and other family matters. We'll be offering consultation on civil litigation matters, and those include breach of contract, labor and employment matters, severance packages, wrongful dismissal, binding over the peace, immigration, debt collection, personal injury, sexual harassment, insurance matters, and again, many other civil matters of law. With regards to commercial matters, we will be doing consults on mortgages, conveyancing, agreements for sale, quieting actions, and landlord and tenants. We also offer corporate consultations. So we will be looking at business name registration, incorporation of IBCs, both local and international, and company formations. We offer consultations on wills, probate and estates, and any other issues surrounding those matters that you may have.
Now, interested persons are requested to make an appointment to meet an attorney. Hallsbury Principal Branville McCartney says the free legal aid clinic has proven successful over the years.
We did it because we saw a need in the community where persons sought legal advice, legal assistance, but could not afford to get it. So we came up with the idea of this legal clinic 20 years ago to to assist those persons, and as a community, public community service, to assist those persons we saw were not being helped or being assisted.
Well, our very own Minister Keturah Clark, and he's a radio host of 107.5 and 1540 AM, celebrating her 52nd birthday this morning with a surprise from Inspector Ottman Rowe, who made a rather sweet presentation.
This is some flour cake I bought for you from Crooked Island. I needed to sample that. I bought some guava duff for you from Crooked Island. I also bought some banana bread for you. Ooh.
Putting on another hat, the inspector also serenading an emotional Keturah on his accordion with a happy birthday rendition.
I'm not crying early this morning. I'm not going to cry before 9 o'clock this morning.
You're not. This is all thing inspiration.
Oh, my goodness.
This is you giving every single day to the public. This is part of your day to be celebrated.
And still to come, we have prostate cancer fighter Mario Curry live in studio to share his story. So keep it locked.
With BGC's crystal clear mobile service, stay connected seamlessly, whether on land or at sea. Our reliable postpaid plans keep your loved ones closer, no matter where life takes you.
Feeding the family and saving you money. That's super value and quality. Supermarket. Country Bond cornflakes, 18-ounce, $2.99. Distinction Long Life Milk, assorted, 1 liter, $2.29. Yellow onions, 3-pound bag, $3.39. English cheddar cheese, $3.99 per pound. Panama raw shrimp, $31.40, 12-ounce, $5.99. Shop and save with the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Car insurance, home insurance, marine insurance, this insurance, that insurance. The truth is, you may not like it very much, but you need insurance, and it has to work for you. That's why Summit insurance policies are designed with you and your life in mind, fitting your lifestyle and needs perfectly. So you can rest comfortably knowing that your car, home, boat, and business are well taken care of. Contact our agents at Insurance Management today. Summit Insurance. We peak above all others.
I've been a J.S. Johnson customer for over 15 years. This was the first and only insurance company I've ever been with since I was a teen. And the reason I stayed is because they treat everyone like family, like literally. They greet you from the door, walk you inside. You can have a nice little conversation. They treat you like family. I love it. I would definitely recommend J.S. Johnson to anybody. J.S. Johnson, that's where it's at.
Your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
and you're looking at a live drone shot over the Nassau Harbor. Safe travels there to our drone pilot, Neville Smith. Great job. Let's take a look now at what's happening in Inagua. Well, like all family islands, Inagua welcomes every form of infrastructure that pushes it forward in making life easier for its residents. Island Administrator Herman Gilbert has infrastructure as high priority on that island. Our Carla Palmer has the story.
The portfolio as Island Administrator for Inagua in 2022, Herman Gilbert, has been keen in making any improvements on the island he deemed necessary. For him, that now includes making sure drains roadside are operating at optimal efficiency.
Over time of neglect, they have somewhat deteriorated. I've noticed that from my first came here into the district. So knowing that funds is a challenge, I went on with PPP, public-private partnership, and I've gotten businesses to donate materials, and I started with minor repairs to the drain. It is a huge project, and it has to be a capital project. And knowing that, but still, we have our kids that goes to school, that walks to school and walk from school, and we don't wait till an incident or accident happen. So we start minor repairs to try close up and those drains at this time.
Ensuring repairs to government buildings is also a priority for the administrator.
Also the government building, so hence I reach out with Ministry of Works. Right now Ministry of Works are in the district and they're doing their various inspections and what's not to determine the extent of the repairs that needs to be done to these various districts. Hence we're looking at the administrative complex, the administrative residence, public health, and also education.
Administrator Gilbert is adamant that as a public servant, he carries out the mandate of the government to improve the lives of residents and visitors to the island. In Matthewtown, Inagua, for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
It's Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and data shows that 1 in every 8 men in the country and in the United States will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. Our guest this evening is a former unionist and BTC employee, Mr. Mario Curry. Mr. Curry, welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Good night. Thank you for having me.
So Mario, talk to us a little bit about, I guess, the reaction when the doctor gave you your diagnosis.
Okay, so that was July 31st, 2023 last year. And my doctor is Dr. Stevens, Leonard Stevens, working with Dr. Robin Roberts. And, you know, I'd gone from a regular physical. And based on certain numbers that he saw, he wanted me to do a couple of tests over again. And that kind of like perked me, and the wife and I talked about it. And he called me in that Friday. He said, listen, come and see me Monday at 9 o'clock. I went in. She and I went in. And then he told us the news.
What were some of the symptoms that you were experiencing?
Absolutely none. No symptoms. I went from a regular physical. Actually, early on, I was like about 27, 28. And they had this thing going around at the time that men at 40 should begin their prostate test. And I was like, why wait till 40? So I started testing from around that time. So I've been testing from that up until now. Only during COVID I didn't really go to the doctors, and had I probably gone to the doctors, we probably would have found it earlier. But, you know, it's a season for everything.
Now, I understand that cancer is hereditary in your family, perhaps. Tell me about that.
Well, as a spiritual man, I won't say the line is drawn at me. My father would have passed away from it. My sister, well-known fashion designer, Jillian Curry Williams, she would have had a double mastectomy. And so we are hoping that it stops and ends with us.
What type of treatment are you taking right now?
Actually, I was to have begun radiation last week, but because my wife was recently diagnosed with breast cancer, I put that aside for us to deal with her. And I've just been doing a lot of holistic stuff.
I know that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of men who are afraid to go and get this test done. What do you say to them?
Don't be. Don't be. Do not be. And if you do happen to go and they find something wrong, don't be afraid to talk about it. Talk to other men. Let them learn about your experiences, that it is okay to something to be found wrong, but then it's okay that you now address it. You know, face it head on, just like how a man would do things. Face it head on and get about your life.
And what do you want to say to men out there as we, I guess, close out Prostate Cancer Awareness Month?
Men, go and get your checkups. Go. It is vital that you get your checkups. Listen, you know, there are two forms of testing. You know, choose whichever one is best for you. You know what I mean? But go and get it done. Get it done. Get it done. Get it done.
Mario Curry, thank you so much for joining us on the Bahamas Tonight. Access Now, and all the best to you and your wife and your family.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Marcellus Hall has a look at what's coming up in sports. Marcellus?
Coming up in sports for tonight, we have a visitor in town who is taking the opportunity to train for the Olympics in Los Angeles in 2028. That's right. We'll tell you full details ahead in sports.
Here at Solomon's, we don't just believe in great brands. We believe in creating unforgettable memories and celebrating everyday living with you and your family. Every aisle is filled with all you need, a great value with a variety and a selection of all your favorite groceries and products, saving you time and keeping you on a budget. Great food changes everything. Shop at your local Solomon's for food, for family, for you.
Shopping is way more fun when you save. Shop, save, and have fun at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Rainbow corned beef, 12 ounce, $2.15. Pickwell tomato paste, 6 ounce, 2 for $2.19. Hunt's ketchup, 32 ounce, $2.99. Fresh tomatoes, $1.99 per pound. Chicken leg quarters, 10-pound bag, 99 cents per pound. Shop and save with the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Bahamas, are you ready? Keep the vibe alive. Music group, along with Alpha Sounds, present the best of the best. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded. This is the biggest one-day all-Bahamian concert of the year. Featuring KB, D-Mac, Abby, Mama D, Fan Sean, Shine 242, The Falcon, and more. Mark your calendars. It's going down November the 2nd at Super Club Breezes Ground. Tickets now available at BahamasEtickets.com or both Beauty Shack location. General admission $60. VIP, Skybox, and Skypods also available. For more info, call 394-0819 or email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Experience the magic once again with more legends for one night only. Come party with us November 2nd at Best of the Best. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded.
Losing your furniture to costly termite damage? You need Rentokil's Initials Drop and Go Furniture Fumigation, the only service like it in the Bahamas. Simply drop your furniture at a fumigation container located at 5th Terrace, Senator, and collect your termite-free piece within days. Sealed with our termite-free guarantee. Fast, convenient, affordable. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name, Rentokil Initial.
Hi, I'm Brent Burrows, Vice President of Retail and Sales at CBS Bahamas and the CBS Pro Store. Not only do we guarantee the best prices on all your favorite building materials, we're proud to offer the best delivery program in all of Nassau. Whether you buy one box of screws or a truckload of plywood, island-wide delivery is just $5. And for our Family Island customers, we're proud to offer complimentary drop-off to the mailboat of your choice. Visit us today at the CBS Pro Store on Robinson Road and check out our website to set up your next delivery.
It's time now for our Access weather forecast, and we get you to the correct page. And we have our radar picture showing the Helen now packing winds of 125 miles per hour, taking aim for Tallahassee, and one of those outer bands occasionally moving through the Bimini area. And our boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Alive, where we always protected from the worst storms. In the northwestern islands, tonight through Friday, southerly winds 15 to 20 knots, wave heights 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. Caution flags are in place for your boaters. Low tide will take place at 10:43 tonight with another low tide at 10:42 tomorrow morning. In the central and southeastern islands through Friday, winds southeast at 12 to 18 knots, the wave height 3 to 6 feet over the ocean. And as we take you into Saturday in the northwestern islands, the winds become south to southwest. They will be falling off rapidly, becoming 10 to 50 knots, and the wave height 2 to 4 feet. Now your low tide on Saturday, that will occur at 11:40 in the morning with a high tide at 5:52 in the afternoon. And for the central and southeastern islands, southeast winds 10 to 50 knots, and the wave height 2 to 4 feet. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. That's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. We'll have your 11 o'clock weather coming up later on tonight. Join me then.
All right, thanks, brother. Well, Hurricane Helen is definitely out there. LaDawn looks like no real threat to the Bahamas, though.
Rough weather indeed, Marcellus, but I like to take solace in social media. With that said, it's time for Let's Talk Socials with Matea Cunningham.
I'm Matea Cunningham, and welcome back to another segment of Let's Talk Socials, the most trusted place in the Bahamas to get your social media fix. Today, we take a look under the cover of Henry Danger memes. For those who didn't frequent TV stations like Nickelodeon in mid-2014, you weren't raving with the rest of preteens at the newest show, Henry Danger. Henry Danger is a kids' sitcom revolving around a young American boy who stumbles upon a big secret. He finds out the identity of the most popular superhero named Captain Man, and soon thereafter becomes his sidekick, Kid Danger. Why am I telling you about a kids' sitcom from 2014? I'll tell you why. Because social media users have dug up still images and videos of the show. In other words, the main character, Henry, played by Jason Norman, is captured during certain episodes as social media users find his facial expressions hilarious. Take a look at some of the creative memes that have gone viral this past weekend. Some say, when I let him use my phone for music and he says, I know I wasn't tripping. When my man said he was going out to eat with his homeboys, so I had to pop out as a waitress to make sure he wasn't lying. Now, why is this trending on social media? Well, it's because people are taking something innocent like a kids' TV show and adding non-related meme captions. Let us know via our digital poll at ZNS Digital. Have you seen the Henry Danger memes on your timeline? This has been Let's Talk Socials.
Is back in session, and there were some organizations that made the transition from summer break to back to school a little easier for some parents and students. Rubus Bahamas was one such organization. Students at T.A. Thompson Junior High School were the beneficiaries.
Basically today, Rubus wanted to give back to the community, and we do understand the cost that is involved with back to school and transitioning from primary school to high school. New school uniforms, a lot more material for school. And so what we wanted to do is lessen the burden for parents. And so today we're providing all the grade 7 students with a backpack, 8 notebooks, and a hand sanitizer. So the Principal Smith, would have given us a list of all the materials needed for the school year. And we selected those items off the list, and we provided them for the students today.
Not only were the students gifted with something tangible, but they were able to capture great memories.
Today we decided to add a photo booth to the initiative. We know each school year, back to school pictures are the first things that parents take when they head off. And so we have a photo booth here where students are able to take their first day of photos with props, select whatever props they would like, and then they get a printout at the end of the day so they can stick on their mirror, keep with them, and then they also have the option to email it to themselves or their parents, so they have a digital copy.
And words of advice from Rubus?
Be a go-getter. Don't sit back, just don't go with the flow. Go out there, learn, be the best you can.
I'm Adama Williams for Ed Talk.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant back again with another episode on the do's and don'ts at the service station. Let's go. What you ain't gonna do is just pull up to any dispenser and put the nozzle inside your car without reading the signs. Because if you put the wrong fuel inside your car and the car mess up, you could be mad at us, all right? And then you have to walk or catch bus for about 3 to 18 months. What you're supposed to do is read the signs. We place signs all over the dispenser to tell you which fuel is which. Because you put the wrong one and the car say bop, and you could be mad at us. You could be, oh, what happened to my car? No, it's you who ain't read. It say diesel, diesel, one word, diesel. You got up, and you mad at us. Read, that's all you have to do.
Well, welcome to your ZNS Total Sports Check, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. University of the Bahamas now getting back into the sporting thick of things, taking a look at what they have in store right now. University going to their cross-country team. They turned in a pretty decent result over the weekend at the Embry-Riddle University Invitational. Michael Bullard led the way for the women's team over the 5-kilometer course in 22 minutes, 42.2 seconds, finishing 44th overall in the field of 119. Markel Newbull finished in 26 minutes, 35.3 seconds for the 87th spot. And Nancy Joseph took 29 minutes, 21.6 seconds. Kaya Cambridge completed the course in 31 minutes, 6.2 seconds. And we had Katrina Dean finishing in 34 minutes, 19 seconds. The team finished 12th with 345 points. Bullard said she had a plan for the race.
My plan is keep the pace, stay with the girls, don't get left behind, especially with a lot of hills. The hills was hard, but you keep up at the end, push, give it all you get.
Speaking of plans, they continue to develop ahead of the Caribbean Baseball Cup tournament scheduled for next month at the Andre Rogers Baseball Diamond. Yesterday, members of the local organizing committee announcing a partnership with local security firm Valor Security to help ensure the safety of both the players and the fans.
We're excited to partner right now with Valor Security, who will be in partnership also with our Royal Bahamas Police Force as well as our Defense Force as these national teams come in to participate in this Caribbean Baseball Cup.
And imagine coming to town to attend a wedding and while here deciding to do some training for the next Olympic Games, which is set for 2028 in Los Angeles. Well, believe it or not, that's exactly what Aiden Vincent of Norway decided to do. The aspiring Olympian from Norway decided to hit the track at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium and train on the stomping grounds of one of his favorite athletes, Stephen Gardner. Our Charles Fish will have that full story coming up for you in our late night sports report, so you may want to stay tuned for that. That's our check on sports for you here tonight. However, we do have the weather report just ahead. Stay with us. All right, so obviously you've already seen the weather.
Yes,
so,
and that's it. Well,
yeah, that's a wrap for us tonight.
That's right, we're done for the evening, but same time, same place tomorrow evening.
Indeed, indeed. And a very happy special birthday to our very own Couture Clark from the Access Now family team. Good night to you. And of course, don't forget, we got the rundown starting right up next with Clint Watson.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
At Rusty Bethel Drive, I'm Paiswell Forbes. This is ZNS.
The Rundown is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. Public outcry after a plea deal reached in the courts for an accused rapist. It raises the concern of how these deals are reached and what should be the path that these matters take. Is there something that we are missing that plays a factor in cases like this? And what does the law say about the parameters that legal experts must take. It's a candid discussion tonight with noted attorney and host of the Legal Brief here on the ZNS Network, Ramona Farquharson. But first, what's important is the parameters of what we're going to start our conversation on. Well, Joel Strawn, a man in his 20s, found guilty for burglary and rape this week, given what one opposition senator charges as a light sentence, given the gravity of the charge against him. Our Daniel Dean spoke with the Minister of National Security on the issue. Here's a report.
A 9-year sentence given to a serial burglar and a man who committed multiple violent crimes against women, including the 2023 rape of an 83-year-old woman. National Security Minister Wayne Munro responds to a press statement by F&M Senator Michael Barnett Ellis, who says she's appalled and outraged by the unduly low sentence given to Joel Strawn, who is in his early 20s.
If this is a matter involving a plea agreement, a request should be made from the Office of the DPP as for the reason for the plea agreement. The law permits them to have to tell the victim that. The law permits them to be able to speak to the victim to say, we're about to enter a plea agreement. These are the terms. What do you think of it? Plea agreements can be influenced by the strength or otherwise of evidence. I do not have sufficient facts to be able to evaluate the matter, but a request can be made of the Office of the DPP for what was a justification for them agreeing to that particular plea agreement.
Minister Munro cites weak evidence as an example of why suspects may receive a lesser sentence or even get off scot-free, adding that in order to properly evaluate the efficiency of sentences, persons must know the justification given.
There are a number of cases that people don't plead to, and then they're acquitted. The acquittal rate in sexual offenses is very high. So if there is an evaluation by the officers of DPP that in order to get a guaranteed conviction, in order to spare an 84-year-old lady from having to go through the trauma of going back in court and reliving that trauma, they determine that that's appropriate, that would be a matter to inquire of the DPP. The F&M government is the one who removed this authority from the AG, a political appointee, and gave it to an independently appointed DPP for this exact reason.
Munro says crime concerns not only the Ministry of National Security, but the public and every agency of government, and vows to continually work towards its reduction. Danielle Dean reporting for The Bahamas Tonight.
All right, thank you, Daniel. Well, please welcome to the show noted attorney and host for the Legal Brief here on the ZNS Network, Ramona Farquharson. It's good to have you. Good to have you on the rundown.
Yes, it's great to be here.
I must say your show is an excellent show, the Legal Brief. So many people have talked about how much they've learned on it, and so congratulations to you on that.
Thank you.
Let's jump right into this. Obviously, people are thinking, what went wrong? Something had to have gone wrong. A plea deal for a rape conviction, 9 years. But what say you?
Well, first of all, it's important for people to know that the law does permit, pursuant to the Criminal Procedure Plea Discussion and Plea Agreement Act, Chapter 91A. So it does permit for an accused person to enter into plea discussions or a plea agreement. And it's very helpful, again, because we have so much crime, an increase in crime. And so this act was enacted to help with, to shorten or reduce all of the backlog. And so something that persons are missing is this, even though we don't have all of the facts, is that Section 10 of this act says that the agreement has to be brought to the attention of the judge or magistrate, and they have to, in essence, sign off on it. Mm-hmm. So they, the judge or magistrate, in this particular case, had to feel satisfied. Again, taking into consideration the evidence, the accused, the victim, everything, all of the circumstances, they would have had to feel a level of comfort in approving that agreement. And I think that's something that people, I think perhaps are missing. They're thinking that this is just some loose discussion that is held or agreement between the two counsels or the accused and the Crown, and then they walk into court and it happens. No, it's far more formal than that, and these agreements are also in writing.
What I found interesting that the Minister of National Security said is that acquittal rates for sexual cases are high.
Yes.
What's happening? In other words, he's saying that people who go before the courts to be charged with sexual crimes oftentimes get off.
Well, again, you have to bear in mind, when you're talking about sexual offenses, usually there are no witness other than the accused person and the victim, the alleged victim. So
does it become you say it, I say?
Exactly. And so in those circumstances, and oftentimes as well, there tend to be some type of relationship between the parties. And that, of course, muddies the waters somewhat. And in those, and that can contribute to why we can have a high rate of persons not being found guilty.
Does that not impact whether or not people want to go to court or report a matter because they feel as though, listen, these people can get off. I don't want to go through the being ridiculed, go through the embarrassment of a court case, and they get off, so people just don't come forward?
That's one of the concerns, or I would hear persons say that fair, because it's not easy, obviously, to relive. And in this case, the person was quite elderly to ask her or call upon her to go to court and relive. And again, we're just speaking generally, because it may be that in actuality she was prepared to do so. But a particular note as well is that with these plea agreements and discussions, the prosecutor the access that they may inform the victim or a relative of the victim before finalizing the agreement. Before it's actually etched in stone, they may do so. And one would expect, for the most part, that they do. And so whereas society or persons are saying that they're not pleased with it, could very well be that the victim is fine with it and her family.
Obviously, people look at the fact that it was a plea deal for 9 years.
Yes.
What say you about that? Was that too much, too little, or perfect? In your view?
I would say, when I first heard it, I thought, I don't want people to throw anything at the camera, but I certainly thought that it was somewhat high.
You thought it was high?
Yeah.
9 years?
Yeah, 9 years, I thought so. But then, of course, I don't know the fact. I don't know if this is a first offense.
All right.
I don't know if the...
Because some of the information came in and said that he was a repeat offender and someone who committed a series of crimes and so forth.
So that may have attributed to why it's 9 years. I would have thought if it was a first offense and he had, let's say, a clean record, that perhaps less, around anywhere between 5 to 7. I would have thought 5 to 7 years. Because again, people must bear in mind that the Bahamas Department of Corrections is not an easy institution, as you well know.
I've been there.
Done interviews
Let me clarify, I've been there. I've been there to do a documentary.
Yes.
Documentary.
So it's not easy. And so when you serve time there, you're really serving hard time. There's nothing cushion or luxurious about it. And so we have to take that into consideration. But I'm sure persons are feeling that because of the disparity in age and her age being 85, of an elderly woman, you're thinking in her twilight years, not to be disturbed, particularly in this manner. And so there's a feeling that, hey, throw the book at him. Because, of course, rape, according to the Sexual Offenses Act, you can get a term up to life.
For rape?
For rape. Rape, attempted rape, you can. And so I guess many persons feel, again, because of her age, that it should have been perhaps higher. But again, all of the factors taken into consideration, there was this agreement. I think we can take it that the victim or her relatives were aware, and most importantly, pursuant to Section 10, that the judge, the Supreme Court judge, signed off on this.
All right, we're going to talk more about what's happening in our legal system and some of these laws and how deals come about and get it more into it when we come back. You're watching The Rundown. Our guest Ramona Farkas and Seymour. We're back after this. Stay close.
Collect, that's the bearer, the more than anyone else. We are the most. We are news leaders, and credibility is the order of the day.
Why don't you come to the most? Only the Sun can cover you better than our new digital product with exclusive stories and entertaining content.
We are the most. Community TV page and radio community announcements. The most viewers and listeners in the country.
We have the most years of Bahama history recorded. There's no archive like ours.
I came back home to bring you even more in news and local programming. We're simply the most, the new ZNS.
Hey everyone, it's your boy Vontae, and welcome back to another episode of The Drop.
2 minutes to airtime. I came back home to make sure you have the most in news and entertainment. We're simply the most.
And I came back home to make sure that you have the most in information, education, entertainment, and inspiration. We're simply the most. The new ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Covering the news seems easy, but we put thought into what we're doing. The Bahamas Tonight Access Now, here to inform, educate, and entertain. A new type of newscast featuring social media trends, news from around the islands, interviews with the people you like, sports, weather, and fabulous entertainment. That's a Bahamas Tonight Access Now with Marcellus Hall and LaDon Davis. Live, starting September 16th.
We're coming for y'all again.
Are you ready for the hottest sports show on the market? It's called The Timeout, Sundays on the ZNS Television Network. In our first show, 4 decades of sports in the country.
Welcome back to The Rundown. It's so good to have you with us. I see all of you who are online. I see your comments. I see what you're saying. And we're getting the information and getting it done. To those of you on YouTube, thank you for joining us. Those of you in the Lion's Den, but y'all making some noise tonight. All right. Well, let's get back to my conversation with Ramona Farkas and Seymour, because obviously people are enraged, all right? Because we've seen, first of all, an increase, police report increase this year so far in sexual crimes, particularly rape. And so many people are concerned that maybe we're not putting enough penalties in place to cause people to be deterred from this. But is that how we get deterrence by these cases, or should it be another issue we're talking about?
I believe it should be another issue, because before, obviously something has gone awry or wrong, why a person is seeking to assert level of force in taking some sexual gratification from someone. I believe that it's something that we need, maybe powers that be need to look at, perhaps more sensitive training and discussion in the schools, also churches as well, and social services can perhaps play a part with that, because again, there's been an increase in terms of, well, I don't know if it's an increase, but certainly you're hearing now a lot of incest, men with their daughters, granddaughters, even, well, I wouldn't, stepdaughters as well, we're hearing that.
We've reported a number of them over the past few weeks.
Yes. And so, something is certainly going on. When it comes before the court again, the court does not, they look at all of the factors, and so the person's background or what they may have gone through to cause them to perhaps be to this point, who knows? Oftentimes, I found that that person may have been raped themselves, or been the subject of childhood trauma or sexual abuse, and so it went unchecked, and so hence now as they've become older adults, they're now, that propensity of acting out takes place, and of course, they're contravening the laws.
What do the laws say about these penalties? And we talked about it briefly last segment, but what is the law saying about the penalties of these crimes, particularly like incest, where I think people believe it's unconscionable that people will be found guilty of that, but if they do, there should be some stiff penalties. Well,
there are, because if you look at Section 13(1) of the Sexual Offenses Act, for incest, if you are found guilty of incest with an adult who commits an offense with a minor, they can get up to life imprisonment. So that's, yes, you can. If it's an adult who commits an offense with another adult for a term of 10 years, and then if the person is a minor who commits the offense with another minor, then a term of 2 years. And that's obviously because of the age. Yes.
You can be a minor with a minor and still go to jail?
Yes, depending on your age. Obviously, once you're 10 years or older, you can be found guilty of a crime. Now, if it's younger than that, then no. If the person is younger than that.
That's interesting. I didn't know that before. So once you are 10 years or older, you can be found guilty of a crime?
Yes. Yes, you can. So if you, so in this case, you're minor. I've not heard of anyone that young, but usually sometimes around 15, 14, 15, thereabouts, may have instances where a sibling, an older sibling, has sexual intercourse with a younger sibling. In that case, if they're minors, meaning under the age of 18, then 2 years.
Are they sentenced to jail or are they sentenced to the Simpson Pen Correctional?
Well, this act says imprisonment. They're liable to that. And when it says liable, it doesn't necessarily mean that that is the absolute penalty that they will go. Again, based on the circumstances, it may be a case, because think about the difficulty of that. Now, if you're a parent, obviously they are siblings or there's a blood relation, and you're the parent of, let's say, your son, your minor son, who has had sexual intercourse with your minor daughter. It's very difficult, and to navigate that for the family. And people may say that's very much a family issue. Yes, the police may have been called in and it's before the courts, but I believe the way in which you should handle that is not necessarily outright imprisonment. I think other approaches ought to be taken in a lot of these circumstances.
Let's talk about what goes to court.
Yes.
Right? Cases go to court. How are convictions brought? Is it based on the fact that police have done excellent work, they've given it to the prosecution's office, the experienced lawyers come, and no matter what you do, they can't plug loopholes in there? Or are we seeing a lot more people get off because the preparation just hasn't been done?
Person may say I'm a bit biased because I'm defense counsel.
Defense, that's why I asked you.
Defense counsel. I have serious concerns about the level of proficiency with our police force and the quality of investigation.
What do you mean by that?
Straight across the board, be it very serious crimes, Part C offenses, murders, or rapes, armed robberies. I find that it's very... It's sloppy. It's not as meticulous as you would expect.
The police work.
The police work, the quality of the investigation, particularly we're now into 2024. I'd say this, for instance. Now, still, let's say it's said to be an offense that takes place with a firearm. And you get a report saying that, okay, we have compared the casings found on the scene with a gun that was found, and we put in a control bullet, and it has the same striations and markings, and so we therefore say that these casings came from this particular gun, and let's say that that's what we found on an accused person. So you hear it as you go to court. But again, that's all you get, is that bald assertion. You get nothing else. For instance, there's no sort of picture to compare to say this is what was on the casing. You can see the striations. This is the control that I used, and here's the side-by-side comparison. I mean, it's happening in all other countries, but in the Bahamas, we're still just we just have this blanketed report, and that's it. And so that officer stands there, and of course, as defense counsel, you've done your homework and your preparation. You can certainly deal with it and really take them to task. And the jury sits there and thinks, well, why don't you have more to show me, not just your word? And of course, you would know that of late, the public's confidence for quite a while now, and particularly of late, is really shaken when it comes to our Royal Bahamas Police Force for a plethora of reasons. But I don't believe that there's a high level of confidence in them. And so I think that they need to up their game. They really do need to improve.
Do you believe it's a lack of resources or skilled people in preparing these cases before they go before the Attorney General's office?
I think, well, they would certainly have to say why. We're still at that point, why we're at the point where we do not have crime scene officers who can walk in a crime scene and look at blood splatter and be able to tell you as simple as, well, I think that the person was left-handed or right-handed. I think this occurred in this way. You know, really, the art and science of this, based on, again, their experience and training. So is it a lack of resources? I don't know, because again, from what we see, they seem to be their new vehicles. There are other things that you see a lot of. I mean, they look well presented, and so maybe it's just something that they need to consider in terms of where we are directing our resources, where we're placing our emphasis. Because again, we've got to do better. There's a lot of reliance still on confessions. Confessions, and of course, as defense counsels, we know the stories about using fish bags, about the beatings and the rest of it. So I just think that then there needs to be a real improvement, and then perhaps you'll see a change, a difference, so that if you do bring a defendant into interview, you have hard evidence, you have something to put on the table that would perhaps compel a person to give an explanation. But when you have nothing at all, it's hard to believe that you just called someone in to the office, no evidence, and here it is, they're just saying, oh boss, I'm going to tell you everything that I did. I mean, it's very suspect, and juries really have a hard time with that.
I'm going to go to the break. When we come back, I'm going to ask the elephant in the room. People say defense lawyers get people off. They're the best lawyers in the country. Is there an analysis to say they're perhaps contributing? I want you to respond to that. I want you to respond as a defense attorney to those claims. We're back after this. Stay close.
JMC TCI and Sunset Village Fish Fry present I'm a Boatman, featuring Katie and Fred, D-Mac, Tino D, Nishi Ellen, Sweet Emily, Wilfred Sullivan, Funky D, DVS, Veronica Bishop, Papa Smurf, Sherrod Taylor, Lil Joe Cartwright, Mama D, Colin McDonough, Chad Cully and the VIP, and from Turks Island, the Proficient Band, and host Super P. There'll also be performances by The Swinger and the Platinum Nights Junkanoo Crew, Sunday, October 13th at Sunset Village Fish Fry, 8 Mile Rock.
Sponsored by the Ministry of Grand Bahama and the Ministry of Tourism.
Welcome to our SBDC Business Tips, where we share valuable insights with small business owners. From practical advice to actionable tips, we're here to support you on your journey to success. Network, network, network. Networking is a powerful tool for entrepreneurs. Building relationships with other business owners, industry professionals, and potential customers can open doors to new opportunities, collaborations, and valuable insights. Attend networking events, join industry associations, and use social media to expand your network. Networking is more than just exchanging business cards. It's about fostering meaningful relationships that can propel your personal and professional growth as an entrepreneur. We hope you find these business tips helpful. To help your business reach its full potential, visit sbdcbahamas.com or give us a call at 242-461-SBDC.
Welcome back to The Rundown. We're talking to defense attorney Ramona Farkas and Seymour, really about the legal system and some of the challenges that are faced and why sometimes convictions come out the way they come out and why deals are made and so forth. And I wanted to talk to you because I'm not going to put any despairing suggestions on prosecutors. But people often say the more seasoned and senior and experienced attorneys are the ones who are the defense attorneys, for whatever obvious reasons there are. People, we know when you work for the public service, you know, it ain't as attractive sometimes as it is in your own private practice. But people believe that defense attorneys are only concerned about getting the person off. They don't care about anything else. All they want to do is that client comes to them, their job is to get them off and to move on and not concerned about how that impacts society. On a break, you were like, that ain't what it's all about.
No, we all play a role in this system. The judge is the umpire, they are the sole authority as to the law. And they ensure that there's a level playing field between the prosecutor and the accused person. You have the jury, they're there, of course, they are the authorities as to the facts. And then the prosecutors, they are given the police, they give them a case, they've charged, and they have to deal with what is there, what witnesses. Oftentimes, my husband always says, cases make themselves in many instances. And so, if you're handed, let's say as a prosecutor, you're handed a case where you have witnesses who do not wish to appear for a plethora of reasons. Perhaps they want to handle things themselves. So they decide, you know, I'm not going to go the judicial route. I want to handle this on the outside myself. Or others are afraid, or some may think that, you know, well, it didn't quite go that way. Maybe I was coerced, or in the moment I made a wrong identification and I don't wish to say that I was wrong. So if they don't appear or don't wish to come, or when they do come, they don't perhaps give evidence in accordance to what their statement, previous statement was, then, you know, it's very little that a prosecutor can do. Defense counsels, our jobs, we're there to ensure that the accused person has a fair hearing. And so I hear people, but I don't believe that our motivation, obviously, if someone is charged with murder or any serious crime, is before the Supreme Court, and they say to you, Ms. Farquharson, I didn't do it, and I'm being railroaded. It's incumbent upon you to fight for that person.
Do you often ask?
Not really.
You don't ask?
No, not really. I look at the evidence and I let that perhaps guide the conversation.
If the evidence that you have seems clear-cut, do you still take the case?
Yes, I think even in those circumstances, you ought to. It's an obligation to do so because the person is entitled to representation. They have a right to that. Now, how you will conduct the case is very different from, let's say, if the person, based on the evidence, is saying, I'm not guilty. It'd be different from if a person says something else. How you test that evidence, how you question if they still wish to proceed. It's a very delicate walk that you have to take. And many instances as well, you may approach in those circumstances where you say, well, it's overwhelming.
Right.
And say, well, I wish to advise them what I see. Let's enter plea discussions with a view to entering into an agreement.
In cases, have you ever seen in your career cases that you knew, okay, this is clear cut, you know, you're guilty, but because of sloppy work in the court, they get off?
All are innocent until proven guilty. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. And
the burden is of proof.
And there are times when what you see on paper may look a particular way, but again, when that witness when that witness takes the stand, and I think that's what the Minister of National Security was speaking about, that when that witness takes that stand, it's not just them testifying or reliving, but it's to withstand the cross-examination, because that can sometimes, depending on who it is, can be rather brutal. And of course, it may fall apart. The case for the Crown may in fact fall apart.
In the Supreme Court in our country, there is a jury.
Yes.
Of ordinary payments.
Pairs, should give you pairs, even though that's up
that
for
make a
discussion.
decision.
Yes.
Is that where people's fate should lie? With people who know nothing about the legal system, who know nothing about what they should take in consideration, but are just put there. A lot of times, most people don't want to be there. They want to be on jury duty, and they have to make a decision on your fate. Should we be moving away from that kind of decision?
Absolutely not.
Why?
I think that they are, a jury of your peers, they are the best people to determine the facts of the case. Particularly, I would more say that if it was a rather technical case, let's say if you're talking about fraud or theft or a white-collar situation, that you may wish perhaps you may think, well, maybe not a jury. The minute they hear that $10 million is gone, they may think a particular way. Perhaps a judge may be better placed to deal with the nuances and deal with that case. But for the most part, street crimes, I would say that the jury are the best, because again, they live just as the accused person does. They understand, for the most part, the nuances, life, the challenges, decisions, and they are the best persons, I feel, to determine the facts. Do they really believe, let's say a police officer, again, as I was saying, that comes in and says, oh, he came in and he confessed, or when a person says, well, I saw that person, and they, you know, they tend to know the area, they have the photos in front of them, the conditions and everything. I think very much so, it would be a travesty, thank God it's protected under the Constitution, to lose a jury. And then, and we must touch it, when you look at the complement of our judiciary as well, you have to be very careful with that.
Why do you say that?
Because we are having a lot of persons who were prosecutors who are now advancing and being promoted to our judiciary. And so persons are human beings. Yes, they should be impartial, but you have to, again, be very careful with that. Let's say if you have a person whose entire career was just being a prosecutor, and they're now sitting there, they may have been also charged with having to determine many of these cases, what charges ought to be laid, when and where. And so, again, you want to ensure as much as possible that you have a level playing field, that it's fair, justice is fair, and if a person is going to be convicted, let it be as fair as possible, and then, of course, the sentence will flow.
We got about 2 minutes left. Do we need to reform our laws?
I believe we do. There are reforms, in particular with case management and other reforms that are on the table, but I don't believe it's going in the right direction. Unfortunately, my view, and I've discussed it with a number of defense counsels, I'm finding that rather than the focus be on our police and improving the quality of investigation, I'm finding that there seems to be a lot of tinkering with the judicial process when it's at court. And in some ways, I believe, unfortunately, that the defendant, the accused person, is getting the short end of the stick. I say that, for instance, we've had the number of jurors reduced from 12 to 9. That's happened. The number of challenges, before we would have had about 10 challenges, pre-challenges, and choosing a jury. That's been severely curtailed. I think we're down now to 2 or 3.
Really?
It's really ridiculous. And so these things are happening. Unsworn statements has been going for quite a while. We now, defense counsels, we give speeches first, even though we have no burden to prove, before the prosecution.
Really?
And now I believe there are amendments to say that, okay, let's have certain issues dealt with prior to the trial. And so it just seems as if you're just gnawing away at the very little which you've already taken from the defendant, from the accused, and you're not really looking at improving the quality of investigation. And many of the jurisdictions that they're taking these amendments from, those jurisdictions have put in place firm foundations. For instance, they have PACE, the Police Evidence Act, where just walking into the police station, there ought to be cameras all around. They have very firm and strong issues in terms of disclosure to the defense that we may not find happens We don't have freedom of information. I mean, for me as a defense counsel, I cannot just readily get my client's antecedents. I have to rely on the Crown for that. And so it's just a number of things. And so as defense counsels, I don't believe we're very happy, but nonetheless, we fight on. It's not easy, but again, we have a very serious charge to defend persons. That's their constitutional right. And as much as possible, I think many of my colleagues were committed to do that.
All right, Ramona, we're out of time, but thank you so much. A wealth of knowledge, and of course, you know, we'll be having you back on a regular basis to address these legal issues for us. Thank you for being a guest on Rundown
Thanks
tonight.
for having me.
Thank you. Well, still to come tonight, customer service in the Bahamas. Where is it? We begin a new series tonight on this issue. You're watching The Rundown. We're back after this. Stay close.
JSC Bank, JMC TCI, and Sunset Village Fish Fry present I'm a Boatman, featuring Katie and Fred. D-Mac, Tino D, Nishi Helen, Sweet Emily, Wilfred Sullivan, Funky D, DVS, Veronica Bishop, Papa Smurf, Sherrod Taylor, Lil Joe Cartwright, Mama D, Colin McDonough, Chad Cully, and the VIP. And from Turks Island, the Proficient Band, and host Super P. There'll also be performances by The Swinger and the Platinum Nights Jokino Group. Sunday, October 13th at Sunset Village Fish Fry, 8 Mile Rock. Sponsored by the Ministry of Grand Bahama and the Ministry of Tourism.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Dr. Gale, and I'm inviting you to be a part of a journey where we open the Word of God to receive strength, to receive empowerment from the Scriptures as they have been written. Get your Bibles, get your cup of coffee or your tea, because this journey is gonna be great. This is your day of victory.
We're just gonna add some spinach in there, gonna bring out all that flavor.
From quick and easy meals on the go to savory and delicious down-home delights, dishing it up is what we do.
I'm Chef Manny. I'll be the new host of Dishing It Up Season 2, and I'm inviting you to my kitchen here at Manuelo's.
And together, we're cooking up a new season of delicious Bahamian dishes. Welcome back to Dishing It Up.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs. Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the sunshine.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
The idea of taking swimming lessons to the Bahamian public was something that we thought was a great idea, and so we started Let's Swim Bahamas.
I've always been a learn to swim coach and a life-saving coach, and so this is now my turn to kind of really see learn to swim being developed.
Although we ran Swift Swimming for some 30 years and we offered Let's Swim lessons, we knew we were only touching a small percentage of the Bahamian public.
I enjoy the children and how happy and excited and joyful they are. I mean, some of them come from maybe hard homes. Maybe they're bullied at school. Who knows what they have? But when they come here, it's a very positive thing for them.
At the end of the day, more kids will be fulfilled, more kids will have a life-saving skill, and more kids will stay away from crime.
Crime-free.
Looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
And welcome back to the show. Customer service in the Bahamas, a big concern not only for visitors, but residents who walk into businesses pretty much every day. But are we in trouble? And can the issue be fixed? Joining me tonight is co-host of ZNS radio show that airs Tuesday nights, Table of Change. The show focuses on customer service. Please welcome Tamara Fox-Smith. It's good to have you on the show, Tamara.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here, Clint.
So I just want to jump right in. Let's talk about customer service. Is that an issue here in the Bahamas? Do we have issues with customer service?
I think we all can agree. I think we all know that we have serious issues with customer service here in the Bahamas.
Well, let's talk about some of those big concerns that we know that are issues when we talk about service in our country. Some of those big issues.
When we talk about service in our country and doing Table of Change, Jackie and I, my co-host Jacqueline Fernando Moxie, we've realized that we know what we are supposed to do. Companies are investing in giving the training to the customers, to the employees in terms of smile, be appropriately dressed. But as the customers, we're not getting it. Okay. And we're trying to figure out what is the link, what is lacking, what happened in terms of getting the service. From the company's vision plan to that employee that they hired, we want to know what happened, what is the gap? Because we as the customers are demanding the service, we want the service, but we're not getting it.
Do you think training is an issue? I know you talked about it just now. I want to go further into that. Sometimes employers, look at their dollars and say, well, I can't pay for training, and so let's see if I can just do some on-the-job training, and hopefully that'll be good enough. Does that come back to bite the employer who says, let me try to save some money from customer training and just give them some tips myself?
It does, because word of mouth can break your company. And with us being in such a small society, you cannot afford not to have proper training of your employees. You have to vet them. You have to give them the training in order to give the service that you're demanding.
When we talk about service, I like to always go to one of the common things that Bahamians deal with every day, the food industry, right? And when you go into whether it's a restaurant or you go in a drive-through, you order something or you try to order something and people give you the attitude back, oh, we don't have that. Oh, well, if you say you don't like something and it wasn't good, well, nothing I can do about that. Are we missing the mark, and are we causing people to turn away and go elsewhere by those simple things?
We are missing the mark in terms of turning the person away. But what I think when we miss the mark of is when we bring it to the attention of the management. You know, the staff can be new. It could be any excuse. It could be they're having an off day. It could be whatever happened. But our biggest concern sometimes at Table of Change is when you bring it to the management and their excuses for whatever problem that you're experiencing in that restaurant. It's like no one even at the management level is taking responsibility for what's happening with the problem. It's like, yes, I'm the customer. I agree. You know, everything is not perfect. But I want you as that manager standing in front of me to hear me, to listen to me, and act concerned about and give some validity to what I'm saying. But we find that I think the staff isn't getting the training because it's like the manager doesn't have the training or the knowledge to give the training. So it's like the problem is so deep. It's like, it's really, we have to really start from the beginning all over again. We're beyond just smiling and teaching someone how to serve a customer. We have to make people realize that it's a brand. You are a brand. No matter what uniform you're wearing, you're representing yourself. And you have to take some credit in that, because the great thing about being in our small society is you may think you're only being rude because you're serving in this fast food or whatever industry, but you don't know who you're serving. That may be the person 2 years from now that you're sitting in front of, legs crossed, trying to get a job for a job that you really want. But guess what? They're going to remember.
We call ourselves a service industry where we focus on serving people, and we always say in the tourism industry it's one of the biggest things you have to be good on. Are we understanding servitude, or are we just putting on an act for service?
I'm so afraid to answer that because I don't even think it's an act anymore. I'm starting to believe that people really don't care. I'm starting to really wonder and second guessing, do companies care? Do they realize in terms of word of mouth? Do they want to give the service? Are they giving the employees the tools they need to give the service? I'm actually alarmed, and I'm tempted to say that it's almost as if you're just being told to purchase it and leave.
It's amazing you bring that up because that's what people often feel when they get service from people. I saw a discussion going on online about somebody complaining about a particular business. The owner came on and tried to justify it and tried to say, well, you know, we were busy that day and you were this and the next thing. And it turned from this one complaint into people being so turned off that the owner tried to justify bad service rather than apologize for it and let's move forward. We're now in the age of social media. Doesn't it impact the way businesses will end up? Does it make sense trying to justify on social media rather than do damage control and just apologize?
You know, I'm glad you mentioned social media because, you know, sometimes you're in a customer service field and you're able to say, oh, this didn't happen. The person didn't mean that. But now with social media, we're finding that the rude approach to customer service, you have some companies that are typing this. They're sending correspondence to customers that are rude. So there's no longer he say, she say. You have it in black and white. And then when you approach the owner of the establishment on it, they say they don't find anything wrong with the problem. And that is scary.
Let me ask you, let's turn it on the other side, to the customer. What should customers do? We're all customers at some point, somewhere. What should we do if we experience and encounter bad service? Give me a step-by-step approach as to what should happen.
I think once you experience the bad service, right, you want to give that person is an individual. And you never know. If you give them the opportunity and say, do you realize what you said to me? Or the tone you said it in? Give that person the opportunity to correct it because it may just be where they're like, I do apologize, ma'am. I was trying to do two things at one time. You're right. Let me give you my attention now. Or it may be that we're reading wrong body languages. But I would say give that person the opportunity. And when you're not getting the opportunity, that person's not giving you the answers that you want, you take it to the next level. But you know, Clint, that could be a two-edged sword sometimes because you take it to the next level and here it is that the manager coming towards you is inappropriately dressed. The manager coming towards you that you're discussing it with doesn't have the capacity to grasp what you're even saying to him. And so now what we do as the customer, we get mad and we walk away. But we don't have a lot of alternatives. We don't have a lot of options. But I feel like we have to address it. Address it to the staff level, address it to the management level. And if you deem that you still didn't get any satisfaction, hey, let's put it in writing.
Is it wrong to go directly to social media and out the business and out what you transpired? Or is that okay to do in today's environment?
I always say, I don't want to do to someone that I don't want done to me. I wouldn't want someone to put my company on blast. I wouldn't want someone to put me on blast. I would say take at least a step of talking to the employee, talking to the management, talking to the owner, and let that be a last resort. And even when you do that tactfully. Don't put names. Just give the circumstances and leave a contact for that business owner to contact you.
I'll give you the final thought as we wrap up this segment. We're going to be doing this on a regular basis, talking about customer service in our country. And so we look forward to having you and your team be a part of the customer service. But what advice do you give to people watching tonight regarding customer service, whether they're on the delivery side or whether they're somewhere in management responsible for it? What do you say that we need to do as a nation to improve?
I think as a nation to improve, what we need to do is remember that you may be wearing that uniform, but that's the uniform. You are still representing yourself. You know, you take off that uniform, that person's going to be sitting next to you in church. That same customer that you were rude to, now you're trying to be a person of the spirit, and they're sitting next to you. Remember that. Conduct yourself on your job, that you're conducting yourself in terms of representing your brand. And managers, if you find that you're in a point in your management skills that you don't want to manage anymore, because the biggest part of management is developing people. And there's nothing wrong with stepping back and saying, I don't have it in me, or this is not a talent that I have to manage someone or develop someone. But it's not fair. It's not fair for us, the customer. It's not fair to the employer that everyone's sitting there getting the salary and not being a part of that employer's vision. You know, when you got interviewed for that position, you basically said that you were willing to uphold your end of the bargain. But giving us, the Bahamian public, poor customer service is not upholding that end. It's like you're reneging on the agreement. And I encourage employees, when you find that you have an employee that is reneging on that agreement, why do we hold on to them? Why are we leaving them as the bad example for the other staff to follow? If we have to mean what we say, and we have to say what we mean. If we're about giving quality customer service, is that what you want your customers to get? Sometimes you have to make an example out of somebody. You got to ruffle some feathers.
All right, well said. Tell them where they can listen to Table of Change. You're on every week on ZNS Radio, 104.5, 1540. Tell them what time you're on and what they can get.
Well, when you tune in to us on ZNS, Table of Change is at 8 p.m. And what Table of Change is that, it's no longer we're going to say, this is the problem, and just sit there and vent and rant about the problem. We're trying to solve the problem. We're trying to get to the underlying issue of why the problem came about. So I invite all of you to come in, listen to Table of Change, call in, and you're going to find a welcome surprise for you.
Thank you, Tamara, so much for being our guest, and we appreciate you. All the best to you. Stay with us. We'll wrap up right after the break.
Mario.
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs. Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the sunshine room.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Dr. Gale, and I'm inviting you to be a part of a journey where we open the Word of God to receive strength, to receive empowerment from the Scriptures as they have been written. Get your Bibles, get your cup of coffee or your tea, because this journey is gonna be great. This is your day of victory.
PREP stands for Prepare, Refocus, Educate, and Produce. When young people come to the program, we make them feel comfortable. We may break out into groups. When Philip asked Nathaniel said to him, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" Has anyone said, "Can anything good come out of Canaan Lane? Can anything good come out of Ball's Alley?" There are a lot of young people in Canaan Lane who are excelling in track, who are doing well in school. What I started PREP to help to do, to get people to understand and notice that there are problems and issues that are going on with our young people, that indeed we who can do something should do something. And so PREP is here for them, creating the opportunities, letting them know that there is potential that you have not yet discovered within yourself. Crime-free looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
I don't know, but what kind of cars is this parking lot? You ain't even know where to park. Yeah, that's no parking. Look at this way. Like, you ain't get nowhere to go. Don't park. Just don't park.
Yeah, that's handicap.
No, man, you can't park on handicap spot. I ain't gonna be that long. I ain't gonna be that long. Handicap spot, boy, what's going on, dog? I tell you we shouldn't park here now. This way park here, man.
I tell you we shouldn't park here.
Don't get one of these things. My bar big, bro, and he got a sticker inside. This ain't this mud, though. We gotta move. This is honey gas. Let's go. But we gotta move. Don't. We can move right now. Sorry.
Be considerate. Don't use disabled parking spaces without a decal in your vehicle. This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
What an exciting show tonight. Hopefully you've got all the legal advice you expect and you know what to do and how these matters are solved and what comes out of these matters. And then, of course, customer service. Hopefully you'll be a better deliverer of customer service. And if you are on the receiving end, that you'll take note that customer service isn't something you ought to value. It should be something that you expect. And it ought to be given to you all the time. Well, before we go, of course, we got to say special thank you to our sponsors, Jamaica Bahama Imports, Collect, the I'm a Boatman concert with KB and Friends, CBS, Little Caesars Pizza, Ace Hardware, the Small Business Development Center, and Bamboo Shock Express. If your name is not on that list, you're not what's happening. Get on that list and be what's happening. That does it for us for the rundown. For all of us here at ZNS, I'm Clint Watson. Thanks so much for joining us. Don't forget to join us for the Bahamas tonight at 11 with Royston Jones. He's already in the room. I see him getting all set and ready. Good night, everyone.
By giving unconditionally, not expecting anything in return, I thought was a wonderful way of showing this love. And I believe that it is love that truly draws people. And so I thought we could cover a lot more people by feeding. Volunteers, you know, they have truly been sold. My passion